or former Blazers big man DeAndre Ayton is expected to sign with the Los Angeles Lakers following his contract buyout with the Blazers. In the Eastern Conference, the New York Knicks will hire former Cavs, Lakers, and Kings head coach Mike Brown to replace Tom Thibodeau in the Big Apple. On the diamond, the Mariners and Royals back at it tonight in Seattle. Logan Gilbert gets the ball for the M's, while Noah Cameron is on the hill for KC. First pitch from T-Mobile at 6:40. In the NL, Braves ace Spencer Schwellenbach has been placed on the injured list with a fractured elbow. He won't throw for at least 4 weeks and is expected to be out for longer than that. Second round out at Wimbledon today sees 2-seed Carlos Alcaraz advance in straight sets. 5-seed Taylor Fritz outlasts Canadian Gabriel Diallo in a 5-setter to advance as well. Meanwhile, American Francis Tiafoe was ousted by Brit Cameron Norrie. More sports stories in 30 minutes. Ryan Buckley at the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Current missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The Hot Corner, now in its new time. Tuesdays at 7 after Isaac and Sue on Portland's sports leader, 1080, The Fan.
If you can find the time to explore the mind of a stripper, then you can find the time to spend with your actual family.
Primetime with Isaac and Sue.
Damn! What they on? All steroids and no carbs? Them some thick-ass kids.
This is Primetime.
We're not like you. We're grown-ups.
Your source for the best in local, regional, and national sports.
Oh, my goodness.
Here are Isaac Ropp and Jason Sakanik with Primetime on 1080 The Fan.
Hey, what it do?
Ahoy!
What's up? Good Wednesday.
Is it
No.
Is it a good Wednesday?
It's a terrible Wednesday.
It is a terrible
And let me
Wednesday.
tell you why.
Talk to me.
I'm just kidding. I love it. I think it's a great Wednesday. Now, didn't we used to have something called, what was Ian Furness's bit?
What bugs you Wednesday?
What bugs you Wednesday?
Yeah.
Take your calls. We used to do that.
Take your butt out of here.
Um,
The Mets lost again.
So I don't care about that. So
I do.
therefore, it has not ruined my Wednesday. I think it's a great day. It's a beautiful day outside. It's not as hot. We got the 4th of July coming up.
It is a nice, I don't know what today is, like maybe
Great little day.
70s?
Yeah, mid-70s.
Yeah,
It was about
nice.
70.
It's nice
Is this
out there.
not the most perfect weather?
Yeah, this is great. If you kept this,
Yeah.
this is San Diego-esque.
Yes.
Little light breeze.
Right.
Although,
Oh, it's almost like you're saying San Diego's the standard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That goes again. Okay, so he's bringing up he's using your own words against you there.
Again, not summer weather, permanent.
What was your take there? You had some sort of take. There
Yeah.
was something going on there. What
Well,
was that?
I simply said that in the summertime, there's
that's
no
right.
better place to be
Right.
than the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, you
and I
said
brought up the
even
weather.
more so than Southern California.
Yes, because San Diego, you just become used to this, and it's like it's the standard. It's like 82 and a little windy. It's lovely. Whereas we get a little warm, but the summertime here is as good as any place in the United States. And Buckley got first off, you brought up San Francisco, and San Francisco sucks. That weather
I did not
blows.
say San Francisco's weather was better. That didn't happen.
You did, and then you had to change it down to
didn't
San
say
Diego. You got real Bay Area.
Uh-huh.
Freaking Buckley.
Well, you
over
guys
there.
are pretty proud down there.
Yeah.
Well, sure. We're great.
Bay Area snoots.
Yeah, the Bay Area is quite snooty. It's not like Massachusetts snooty, but it's pretty snooty.
You know, it's funny. It's like I remember the first time I went to San Francisco.
Yeah.
It's so crazy that one person in one little experience can make you think. I mean, like this is on me, not
Sure.
But
Yeah. We make a lot of
to this day,
sweeping judgments.
yes, the guy at the coffee shop was such a douche, so full of himself and condescending. I'm like, San Francisco.
Yeah, you never find that in Portland.
Right.
No,
but at the time, I'm
not
like,
at all.
San Francisco sucks. Look at all these people. Now all of a sudden, I'm looking at all the people in San Francisco like they're all like that.
Well,
What's wrong with me?
Well,
Yeah.
we all make snap judgments, or you had that preconceived notion. Because a lot of my friends that are in Vancouver, they act like Portland is some dystopian nightmare.
Yes.
And there's nothing worse than when I convince them to come over into Portland for something, and then like they see one, and like you can see it coming, like you see what their fear is. Like there's a homeless person doing something, or like a window gets broken, and they're like, "Oh, there, see, this." I knew it.
Or they go to
it.
a great restaurant in a tough part of town, and you're like, well, this is where the restaurant is. I don't know what to tell
It's
you.
a city of 2 million people. Occasionally, someone's going to get their car broken into. In fact, That our Bronco, our Ford Bronco, got the window smashed around.
No.
No, this was like Christmas time.
Oh.
Well,
I don't care about that.
Yeah, it's like my we got friends that live off a Division, so it was parked right there,
Yeah,
and like
Division.
Yeah,
A lot of people are saying.
lot of people are saying
Rough over on Division.
So the window got smashed, and instantly I had like 5 people that I know. They're like, "Well,
that's what you get.
That's what you get for
Living in
living."
Portland.
No one ever in Vancouver has had their window smashed.
Nope.
Nope.
Doesn't happen. Yeah.
This is why I won't go over there.
What is
one thing? Confirmation bias.
Yeah. Yeah, we do that a lot.
Yeah, we do
in
that,
our,
yes.
in our lives.
Well, we base everything. I mean, your own personal experience is the best experience you have to go on. So if you have it one
Yeah.
time, you're going to
That's
apply
it.
it to the rest of them.
Yeah, I mean, all we need is just a little bit more sort of understanding and awareness that, just because you experience something or you think, this is a shocker, even if you just think something, it doesn't mean it's true.
No.
How about that?
No. Well, and
About
now we're so dug in that if you do believe something, there's no amount of proof that someone can give you because you can just go down fake news. It's not real.
That's right, fake news.
AI, man. What are you talking? It's not real. No, it's right here. You can see the image. It looks doctored. That's why I said you could have aliens or Jesus come down and land, and half the country would be like, nah, not real. I don't buy it. Looks fishy to me. Seems suspicious. And then you just need one dude with an alternative like newscast somewhere on some sort of like internet channel. You're like, I heard the whole thing on this other channel. Yeah, there's 72 other sources. They're lying, but this one guy, he's the dude. He's telling me the truth.
There's one person who used to work for the government. There's like, oh yeah, there's an underwater civilization that is
that guy
there's
that guy
network
worked
of
at Area
20,000
51.
under there, and you're
Hey,
like,
all I need-
whoa.
I listen to a podcast. That's all I need.
Yeah, I'm high level.
I listen to one podcast.
Well,
wouldn't
they worked
understand.
for the government, and you're like, oh, okay, well that.
You believe the moon landing? Whatever. I listened to a podcast. They told me about how it was.
Aaron
fake.
Rodgers made a lot of good points.
It was at Danica. Have you seen what Danica Patrick is up to?
No.
Dude, she's like lizard. They into like lizard people and stuff. She's like deep down the rabbit hole. She's got her own little podcast, and she brings on people that like aliens are living amongst us, and like government leaders are secret. Like what is that old show V, and like they're reptilians and they're on different wavelengths than us. And she's all about it. Like she is deep down the sewer well.
Yeah, I don't. I
Well,
mean, whatever.
Well, she
I
did
don't
date
care
Aaron
about her.
Rodgers, so I wondered if maybe that kind of
Is
kickstarted.
she still a race car driver?
Nah, she's retired.
Well,
I
then-
think that's what she does now. She just like goes on podcasts, and
Why do we care about her then?
I don't know. Every now and then she pops up. Like every now and then she'll pop up like on my feed with like the most insane thing you've ever heard in your life, and you're like, oh my god. And to hear people that act like it's rational. Like some lady will be like, oh yeah, like
It's insane.
She's like, yeah, the lizard people are the ones that are running Israel right now. And then Danica Patrick's like, yeah,
of course.
like
Sounds right.
there's no pushback. It's just like someone told you that it was 77 degrees today. Like, oh, that's
Even
really
though, like, well, let's explain that a little bit more. It's like, yeah, of course.
Oh, yeah,
That's
of
how-
course,
yeah.
the lizard people. Yeah, it's Israel, the Jews, the lizard. Yeah, it's a whole thing. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, no worries. Heard
Well,
it on Joe Rogan.
That's why we're here on the radio, is that we're your trusted news source. So you can
That's right.
believe
The only news source I trust is the news on
everything
primetime.
that we say, because basically our show is just us Googling things
Yeah,
and being confused
and don't worry, we do our own research here.
by the results.
We-
That's
we-
right.
We do our own research.
Live on the air. You can hear our research
That
happening.
is true.
I have
yes.
hot Danica Patrick update.
Oh, what's she up to?
She is working as a media personality, entrepreneur, and commentator. She does NBC's Indianapolis 500 coverage, also does Sky Sports Formula One broadcasts. She has her own podcast, quote, Pretty Intense. She's launched a clothing line called Warrior by Danica Patrick, and she has a vineyard called Somnium.
So, like, you can be into lizard people, but still go on the Indianapolis 500 coverage and be like, oh,
and
yeah,
sell wine.
turn left and sell wine. Hey, man.
What's somnium mean?
I don't.
mean, is it like Som like sommelier, and then I don't know
yeah,
what
maybe.
neum
Yeah,
is.
it's a Latin word meaning dream. See, AI.
AI.
I just Googled live on the. I just did my own research.
Fake news.
Live on the air.
That's not what my AI is telling me. My AI is saying something else.
I don't know. I think we're living in this era of people consuming other people that shouldn't be consumed. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I just don't care about her. I don't care about half the people that people talk about. No, 90% of the people that people talk about or take cues from or go viral. I don't care about any of them.
No, and now you've got ESPN does this better than anyone. You'll get one of the ESPN talking heads that'll say something so outrageously stupid, and then the rest of the shows will comment on it for like another week. Like they create
That's their whole formula.
Yeah, you just get one idiot to say something extremely stupid, and then everyone else gets to react to what they said, and then the rest of us like,
Well, I'm not fooled by it.
outrage. Is that the Jack White hat, by the way?
Yeah, this is J-Dub.
All right.
Right here.
Well, yeah, the
My
other
guy.
day, on a squirrel moment.
That was yesterday.
Yeah, was it yesterday?
It was yesterday.
Yeah, you said you had a Jack White hat and you had worn it in, and I was like,
Yeah.
I would never
Well-
know that was a Jack White hat.
Well, I know. That's why I like it.
It looks like a golf course hat.
But what we were talking about was the idea that if you go to a show, like Wu-Tang was here last night,
Yeah.
you're never, like, it's just bad merch
Yeah.
at the show.
Yeah,
What you
it's-
need to do is you need to go to the artist's website if you really want their real merch, and that's what I did with this hat. I
Yeah.
bought it straight from Jack White's
Yeah.
merch.
It is nice because it does not. I just don't know how you would ever. Is that his logo?
Yeah, he's got a logo.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe you need a logo.
I already have
And a
one.
Saatchi logo.
Yeah, I already have one, guys.
You do? What's it
Yeah,
look like?
I do. Well, I mean, I
Have
can't.
like a Prince thing?
I can't
or-
talk about it yet.
Oh. When's
a-
the
Big things are coming.
Yeah.
You guys don't know
When's
that.
the big reveal?
Well, you know, it's coming.
Okay.
Because you're no one now unless you have a logo.
Yeah, that's right.
I saw that the Yonger has a logo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
the Yong Bong. He's got his own logo.
What is like? What can you describe it for us?
No, you'd have to. Is it Li Ning, the Chinese shoe?
Yeah, that's one of the shoe companies. That's the CJ McCollum one, I think.
Yeah, so he's got his own brand through them, and he's got like a signature shoe. So there's a logo, and I'm guessing it's a JY. I didn't quite understand it when I saw it, because most of the time, like with Steph Curry, there's some initials in there, or there's like the little 3.
Or yeah, they incorporate the number, yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't quite figure out what the Young Hansen logo was, but to be honest with
It's Young Han Sen.
you, yeah. What did I say?
You called him Young Hansen, which is a slap in his
For
face.
God's
In his
sakes. Han
face.
Sun. Bottom line is,
Han Sen.
I didn't care enough to look into what the logo was, but he's got a shoe
Great.
and he's got a logo.
Well, good for him.
I don't know
Look,
how many pairs of shoes he's going to sell in Portland, but
If you can profit.
yeah,
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it. Do it.
Dame Dollar's dropping a new sneaker. I saw that today.
Do it.
His 10th signature shoe.
Yeah, you're nothing unless you drop a sneaker.
Yeah.
You have to drop it. You
But
can't.
Dame making sure his affordable.
You can't
under $100
release
a
it.
pair.
How much?
It's
Under
his
$100
first shoe
bucks.
under $100.
Alright.
He said it was very important to him.
That's cool. Shaq did that a long time ago, but
Shaq made his like $20.
Yeah, well.
He sold his at
Stephon Marbury did the same thing. The
yeah.
Starberries.
Shaq sold his at Walmart.
not a new idea.
Nah, but
Although that was cool when Lillard, remember when he just rolled up in like a van
Yeah, started
with a
handing out
bunch of
sneaks.
shoes and he
Yeah.
started handing them out to people?
Yeah.
That was cool.
Absolutely.
One of the top 5 most spontaneous moments in Portland history,
Ooh, it's
along with Dave Chappelle's show down on.
what about
Pioneer
Bill
Courthouse
Bill
Square.
Walton riding his bike to the championship parade?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of
Remember the Greg Oden? What'd they say? Like, didn't they estimate like how many did they estimate downtown for the Greg Oden press conference?
Oh yeah.
Or it was like a Greg Oden.
Yeah, I remember that.
I don't remember what the hell
They
happened.
did it at Pioneer Courthouse Square. And then they
Yeah, a
had
bunch
that-
of people just showed up.
Yeah.
And they were 800,000.
I don't think so, but they said 1 million at the Blazer championship parade, which back in the day, I mean, that was a lot of people in Portland.
What is the
Just marvelous.
greatest? What is the most spontaneous and greatest moment in Portland history? Is there a list out there? Is that
I don't know. I think we
widely
I think we
known?
burned some stuff down once. That was kind of spontaneous, I guess.
that's true? That's true. Well, what did we burn down really though?
I think we tried to burn down a courthouse, but it didn't quite work. But we got the mayor maced.
The riots.
remember?
Yeah.
We did that.
Tear gas Teddy.
Tear gas Teddy. So that was kind of.
I mean, we did have an athlete run through a literal wall. I mean, it's a sports thing, but
Yeah, that's true. That
I
happened
mean, it's
here.
a spontaneous sports moment that's gone down in the annals of sports history.
Could you do the Mo Cheeks saving the singer? I mean, that's
Hey,
spontaneous.
you want to know what AI says?
Lillard waving someone.
I'm
What?
doing my own research online.
God, I love when you do your own research.
One of the most spontaneous moments in Portland's history is the arrival of the Portlandia sculpture in 1985. a 35-foot tall statue. It was transported up the Willamette, is that how you say that?
I think so.
River on a barge and greeted by a spontaneous parade of 250 boats and thousands of citizens.
Really?
The event was so unexpected and celebratory that it even drew the attention of writer Tom Wolfe, who wrote a tribute to the city's spirit in Newsweek. The sculpture was placed on the Portland building, designed by Michael Graves.
You know, that's with the pitchfork. And,
How about that?
The long flowing hair.
Spontaneous. Who knew that?
Well, I did not know the story behind that. So that just came floating up.
Apparently.
The Willamette?
Apparently.
Get right the hell out of town. A lot of people
are saying that thing has diarrhea.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Dude, I see right here on the barge.
That is something that I have not heard before.
No.
That's right, kid.
No idea. And by the way, that's quite a sight of that thing floating up the Willamette on the barge. Right? Well, that's...
And it's a trident, not a pitchfork.
Well, yeah, I mean...
Very close.
Yeah.
What's the difference between a trident and a
Well, I think a pitchfork is for farmers.
Also, I think a trident only will have 3 prongs, and a pitchfork often will have 4 or 5 prongs.
So I'm one
what a
prong.
brain.
I'm one prong away.
What a brain on that guy.
I mean, I'm a Clydesdale. I should get that.
That is true.
All right, well,
I'm still
big show.
I
Big
can't believe
show.
I didn't know this.
Big show, guys. We will get to headlines next, where 3 teams want Damian Lillard, and DeAndre Ayton has a new home. That's next on The Fan.
Check
That will never not be awesome to me.
Hey, before we get into sports, I'd like to hit you with 3 more spontaneous Portland moments.
This is very spontaneous of you.
Yeah, maybe we will make the list of top of most spontaneous moments in Portland history by us talking spontaneously about spontaneous moments.
Remember when those 2 donkeys started spontaneously talking? That was awesome.
Well, there's a couple more I wanted to tell you about. I don't know why, but we were talking about most spontaneous moments here in our fair burg.
Yeah, and then we settled on the Portlandia statue coming down on the Willamette.
Well, that's what AI told me, but I found a couple of others. In 1970, a spontaneous gathering of young people, estimated around 10,000, came together for a weekend of music and counterculture in a field near Cazadero.
So we had like our own little Woodstock.
Yeah, the event was a response to the war and the social climate of the time.
Ah, yes, that hot 1970s social media. I think back then it was just stapling things to telephone poles.
Then we had the free hugs moment, which I'm sure you remember. In 2014, a spontaneous act of kindness at a protest, a young boy offered free hugs to a police officer, and it became a symbol of hope and unity, captured in a powerful photograph.
Was it really powerful?
What were we protesting in 2014?
Yeah.
No offense, but
know.
like, okay, you offered to hug it. Whatever.
God, look at you.
Yeah, that's not.
Peeing on young boy free hugs.
Well,
I think we're going to stop.
That sounded bad.
yeah, that is.
I mean,
a little
free
out there.
hugs.
So
Well,
if-
you know.
So if I stood outside with a free hug sign,
Yeah,
is that?
no? It has to be the young boy.
I was gonna say, I feel like that's kind of borderline criminal if I'm doing that. I can't go around hugging people. How young was this boy?
Let's take a look here.
'Cause I'm not gonna lie, like
fella.
5 or 6, it's kind of cute, but then his parents put him up to it.
Oh,
But
yeah,
if it's like 12, then again it gets creepy.
And he's crying and stuff. He's like, he's probably 12. Yeah, he's 12.
That's weird. I don't, that's
And he is African American.
gets into some weird territory.
Thanks a lot, Buckley. They
For what?
were. It was a protest in Portland
Black,
after.
please, thank you.
It was the Ferguson situation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So pretty cool
I
moment.
thought that was solved by Kylie Jenner and Pepsi.
Oh, it
Didn't-
was.
Didn't she solve the race
Well,
wars?
yeah, she does. Yes, of course.
You want to talk about spontaneous moments?
Everyone knows that.
Kylie Jenner ended race wars in this country by everyone having a Pepsi.
Well, unlike you, I thought it was a cool moment. And then also spontaneously, and you will remember this, we talked about this here. In 2015, Greenpeace activists staged a dramatic protest, suspending themselves from the St. John's Bridge and kayaking on the Willamette River to block Shell Oil's icebreaker from leaving port.
I'm guessing that didn't work.
No, it did.
It did.
Yeah, that was the big deal. It made national news because they did halt
Really?
the departure
Like
of the ship.
like permanently?
It was a pipeline thing. I mean, look, yeah, I don't know about permanently, but at the time,
So they delayed it for like 8 hours, and then they were like,
they were. Remember that they were hanging from the bridge, bro.
Yeah, I kind of. I
It's crazy.
briefly remember that, but
A couple of other hot, spontaneous moments in Portland history,
Boy,
ladies and
that's-
gentlemen, for you today
I
here on
like
the
it.
show. Thank you. Well, DeAndre Ayton, hating on DeAndre Ayton.
hating on that.
DeAndre Ayton has a new home. He's headed to the Lakers.
Yes.
So once again,
Yeah.
the Lakers get a gift of a player. I don't know how many players they've been gifted in history, but it has to be the most of any franchise ever.
It certainly does seem that
It's
way.
unbelievable.
Yes, like they don't have a center. There's no good centers available, and I'm not saying DeAndre Ayton's like a great
No,
center.
but that's a perfect guy for them.
yes. Compared to like, you don't really need him to be great. You just have to have him
God.
be better than what you had.
They got gifted Luka. They got
Yeah.
gifted Ayton. They got gifted Gasol.
Yeah.
They kind of got gifted LeBron.
Well, they got gifted Kobe.
Yeah, they got gifted Kobe.
Yeah. It does seem to happen to them quite a bit. Well, and now, I mean, you look at the Lakers. I don't know. Out west, it does seem to be a bit more crowded, but I mean, when healthy, you do still have 2 top 12 to 15 players in the league, and you got a guy in Ayton. Then when motivated, is a 20-10 guy that did anchor a team in Phoenix that went to the finals. The question is, can you get DeAndre Ayton to give a flying whatever?
Well, maybe come April.
Well, the thing about Ayton too is that if you're ever going to get a bonehead to care, it'll be in a contract year. Because remember, he did the "I'm a max player, I'll always be a max player." I don't think so. But this is the last year of his contract, and he's got a chance to do something in LA on a good team. There's no ice, so he should be able to get to the arena in plenty of time. Maybe this is going to be a new motivated DeAndre Ayton.
He gets $34 million
but
next season.
Yeah, but he's only getting like 10 from the Lakers. The Blazers have to pay the other.
Right.
So the Blazers are giving him $25 million
to go play for the other team.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah.
Things are going great.
Whoops.
Damian Lillard, the report is that there are 3 teams that want him ASAP. Like, right meow.
I guess you don't want to wait because he's not going to play this year, but you sign him, and that way you don't. I guess the longer it waits, again, you don't know what the culture of the NBA will be like a year from now. So if you want him, makes sense. Go get him now.
Yeah, and you can monitor his help him with his rehab.
With his rehab.
And all 3 of these teams already have. In other words, he's not pressing for any of these 3 teams. One is, shockingly, the Lakers.
Yeah.
Another is the Warriors. He can sit behind Steph Curry, and then the Celtics.
Yeah, it all makes sense. The interest in Portland. The only reason he would come back here is nostalgia. But if his goal is to still win a ring, I don't know where the best fit on any of those, and still don't even know if he plays at all this year. But if he does play, it's going to be towards the end of the year, and if any of those teams can get him healthy for a playoff run, you're telling me that any of those teams adding a Damian Lillard to your lineup or coming off the bench as a 6th man come playoff time wouldn't be beneficial? You can say what you will about Dame. Towards the end, or not towards the end, last year in Milwaukee, he was having a really nice year. The year before, it was a bit of a struggle, but last year, his numbers were great until he until he tore the Achilles.
I cannot picture him at all in a Lakers jersey. I don't like that. That hurts me.
Well, he's a Bay Area guy.
But
so
if he went to the Warriors, I would love that because he's home. Well, they're in San Francisco now, but, he's close to home.
As close to home as you could be.
Yeah, and I've always liked that franchise. I like Curry. I think that's awesome. That would be cool to see him play for them.
Yeah, I'm
looking. And then the Celtics can F off.
Yeah. He averaged 25 last year, 25, 5 and 7. And he was shooting 37%, almost 38 from behind the line, and 45% overall. He was having a nice year. You just don't know what he's going to be when he comes off of that Achilles injury because he'll be 35, and those can take a little bit to heal. And his best days are probably behind him. And he's never been a great defender. Will he be a defensive liability? Even more so coming off an Achilles tear at that age.
And that's the thing that would worry me as a Warriors fan is Steph works hard on defense, but he isn't gifted enough athletically on defense. And you put Dame and Steph together in the same backcourt.
I'm not certain. Yeah.
You don't think he would be pushing for a starting role somewhere?
I don't know. I just don't know.
I don't either. But
could you have a starting backcourt?
How old's Curry?
He's about that same age.
Like 36.
Yeah.
37?
37, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I just don't know if that's especially with some of the bigger teams in the West. That could be a rough go. When you look at like the young guards of Oklahoma City, what Houston's rolling out there, the young explosive
and Edwards
guys
in Minnesota,
that could be problematic. And Jimmy's no spring chicken either.
No.
So, it'd be interesting. Boston, if you wanted a starting role, you suck up some of the air of the Tatum injury, and then you're back with Anthony Simons. Although Dame and Anthony on the floor together isn't exactly a murderer's row on the defensive end either.
Yeah, we've seen that.
Yeah. So I don't know. Again, remember, towards the end of his career, Carmelo Anthony eventually accepted that he was no longer the driving force.
Yeah.
The question becomes, can Dame accept that he's no longer?
Oh, I think he has that capacity.
I would hope so.
He seems to be mature enough and always has been to understand that.
Because you would think if his goal is to win a ring, that guy at 35 with the Achilles tear could still be a big part of a team. I just don't think he can carry a team. And I guess in Milwaukee, he wasn't really asked to. That was Giannis's team. So he's already, kind of played a backseat role, but could he take a third wheel role, I guess?
Well, yesterday we talked about the odds of his next team. The Heat were number 1, but it appears that, according to The Athletic, a bunch of teams, contenders calling for about Lillard, The Lakers, the Celtics, and the Warriors are the three that really want him stat.
Well, and too, if he's made so much money, and if it really is about winning in a ring, Milwaukee's paying him $120 million to not play. So he could pull a DeAndre Ayton and take
Sure could.
he could take a mid-level at 15 mil and still just be making an S ton of money with the buyout. And then it shouldn't be about money at this point. It'll just be about fit. And I think the best thing that ever happened to Damian Lillard is getting bought out by Milwaukee. He just gets to sit back, wait a little bit, and then make a choice.
Quick spontaneity talk follow-up, and it is not a good one.
Uh-oh.
And this texter is correct. I had forgotten about this, but the boy in the free hugs photo from the Ferguson riots or protests, he was one of the kids. Do you remember when the woman drove her family off of a cliff in a van? He was one of the kids.
Oh my God.
Yes. Do you remember that story?
I do remember that story. But
Yeah.
that was him.
That was him. He was one of them. I think that obviously they all died, and he was one of the kids. Yeah. 3 years later, he was murdered by his parents. Wild story, man.
That's not good. Well, now we went from like a feel-good story to just the worst story.
Good stuff.
God. Well, thanks now for bringing that up.
What are you laughing at?
I feel all bad.
Well, I just had to put a bow on the story.
You did. You took that full circle.
It's not fake news here. I tell the truth. People need to know.
Don't forget to show love.
All right, everybody. Guess what? That segment is over. Coming up next, the New York Knicks have a new coach, and it's... here's Buck.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
Ryan Buckley with this Sports Center update. First on The Fan, DeAndre Ayton is expected to sign with the Los Angeles Lakers following his contract buyout with the Portland Trail Blazers. Over in the Eastern Conference, the New York Knicks will hire former Cavs, Lakers, and Kings head coach Mike Brown to replace Tom Thibodeau in the Big Apple. On the diamond, the Mariners and Royals back at it tonight in Seattle. Logan Gilbert gets the ball for the M's, while Noah Cameron takes the hill for KC. First pitch from T-Mobile at 6:40. In the NL, Braves ace Spencer Schwellenbach has been placed on the injured list with a fractured elbow. He won't throw for at least 4 weeks and is expected to be out for longer than that. Second round out at Wimbledon today sees 2-seed Carlos Alcaraz advancing straight sets. 5-seed American Taylor Fritz outlasts Canadian Gabriel Diallo in a 5-setter to advance as well. Meanwhile, American Francis Tiafoe was ousted by Brit Cameron Norrie. In the women's bracket, 6-seed American Madison Keys cruises in straight sets, as does top seed Arina Sabalenka. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Ryan Buckley, the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at WarrenAllen.com.
The Fan Merch Locker has a new black 1080 The Fan hoodie, as well as classic long and short sleeve tees. Get your 1080 The Fan.
Hi. Hot Mike Brown talk.
Who knew we needed a hot Mike Brown talk?
We do need it, and I'll tell you why.
They hired that Brown guy, and then I went,
And I scrolled right past
it's
it.
a drop for everything.
Boy, there sure is. Let's see if I can find that.
Oh, yeah, they signed that Brown guy, and then I went right past it. Yeah.
Yeah, Mike Brown's the new coach of the Knicks.
Which, whatever.
I forgot about Mike Brown.
Yeah, I think we all forgot about Mike Brown.
Who has not forgotten about Mike Brown?
I had a really
believe
cool
it-
experience with Mike Brown.
Yeah, why? What do you mean?
When I was producing a monthly show for the Warriors, we would like profile different people on the team. And 1 month they gave us Mike Brown, and we thought it was going to be boring because he was just an assistant coach. And he took us riding on his Harley. We had our host get on his Harley. He's a big motorcycle guy. And I was hanging out the side of a van with a camera, like shooting him going off into the sunset on his bike.
Who's the host?
It was Roz Goldon Wude. She's worked for ESPN and TNT as well.
Okay.
Did you know
Sounds amazing.
that one Mike Brown, not once, but twice, NBA Coach of the Year?
I know, and that's why I am bringing this up. This is the only reason we need to talk about Mike Brown, because otherwise, who cares?
Yeah.
Although I think it is funny that they go from Tibbs to Mike Brown.
Yeah.
It's like, really? What an improvement? Maybe he's softer than Tibbs, and that's what they want.
I
but-
think that's what this is.
I mean, is he not the definition of run-of-the-mill NBA coach?
That's a two-time run-of-the-mill Coach of the Year. And let me
Well-
also, is there an award that we respect less than NBA Coach of the Year? That just means you had a team that no one really thought much about, and then they were pretty good, and I guess we give you credit for it. And then like a year later, you're fired.
Well, he won a bunch with LeBron, right? He had young LeBron.
Yeah, young LeBron. That was one. He was Coach of the Year when he was with the Cavs, and young LeBron.
Yeah. And so, I mean, having young LeBron right there,
Certainly.
but he goes to the Lakers. Now, in his defense, he had to follow Phil Jackson. He was the coach right after Phil Jackson. And also in his defense, Mike D'Antoni, Byron Scott, and Luke Walton couldn't do anything either.
Yeah.
But he couldn't get the Kobe Gasol Lakers anywhere. So they fired him.
Yeah.
Then he goes to Cleveland. He goes back to Cleveland, and he's there for the big Anthony Bennett rookie season flop.
Oh, that's exciting.
And then he decides, oh, maybe I should just be an assistant coach. And that's where apparently he rides a Harley with Buck following him in a van, leaning out the
And
window,
wins
dangerously filming him.
And wins a couple NBA championships.
He got rings,
Mhm.
and then he takes over the Kings. He's fine for 2 seasons, but he missed the playoffs last year, and he was fired midseason this
I
year.
do enjoy, though, that he was unanimously the NBA Coach of the Year, and then a year and a half later in Sacramento, he was fired. Thus proving my point that there's no award that we care less about than being NBA Coach
I
of the
would
Year.
argue that that's true of any coach of the year, and that's why I bring this up, because I was thinking about Mike Brown today, and
I'm
I
sorry
was
you were thinking about Mike Brown.
well, I am a sports host,
You
and
just
I have a
woke up.
sports
And
show.
you woke up and you're like, I got Mike Brown
Well, no,
on the brain.
I saw the Knicks hired Mike Brown. I'm like, oh my God, Mike Brown.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking, I saw that nugget you just relayed to the people, and that is that he is a 2-time Coach of the Year. And I thought, who is the NFL equivalent of Mike Brown? So I've spent today looking at that, and I
Okay.
have a few options that I'm going to toss out here. And that's why I wanted to talk about Mike Brown on today's sports show.
It is less interesting because there was a rumor that the Knicks were intrigued by one Don Staley. And even though I don't care for Don Staley, you want to talk about something that would have been interesting. A team that was on the precipice of doing something great and then blowing it up and hiring someone that no one has ever seen before. That would have been interesting. The first time we hire a lady coach for an NBA team, that's going to be a story. And I'm a little bummed that didn't come to fruition, because Don Staley in New York would have been just headline after headline after headline.
Now, you would have to have been a 2-time NFL Coach of the Year
Coach
in
of the
order
Year.
to be the Mike Brown of the NFL.
Mhm.
So I have 2 names that I will throw at you that are now. There are some that have won Coach of the Year multiple times, but have also won titles.
Mhm.
Mike Brown has not won a title
I think
as a head coach.
in my mind, I kind of have an idea of where I want to go with this, and I'll be interested to see if he's on your list.
Well, the most recent guy that believe it or not is a 2-time NFL Coach of the Year is Kevin Stefanski of the Browns.
That's not what I was thinking.
Little bit further in the past, you have a 2-time NFL Coach of the Year who was a good coach. Now, it should be noted, Mike Brown is a winning coach. He has a winning record in his career.
Can I throw this out? Because I don't know if he is a 2-time coach of the year. I don't even know if he is a 1-time coach of the year. But when I think of Mike Brown, and you brought up,
hold on.
I know. I just want to see if it's out there that if I'm in the.
Well, let me bring up this other guy, and then we'll. So this guy is a 2-time coach of the year. Mike Brown is a winning coach.
Okay.
This guy is 1 game under 500, but a lot of that's because he was at Washington and they sucked. But in Carolina, he was good.
Ooh, this is my guy then.
And he was in the Super Bowl, did not win the Super Bowl. And that's Mike Brown with the Cavs. Was in the final.
Yes, this is who I'm thinking of.
Ron Rivera.
Yes, when you brought up the NFL thing, so he is a 2-time coach of the year, huh?
He is, yes.
I did not, but like when you brought up, I was thinking, all right, guy that's been successful. It's been, but like I don't really think much of. I think of Ron Rivera.
I just want to point out, you were saying coach of the year, NBA coach of the year is the least respected award.
Whatever.
Can I just also inform you that Jason Garrett, Matt Nagy, and Brian Daboll were all coaches of the year in the NFL?
Get right the hell out of town.
Come on, dude.
Matt Nagy was?
Yes.
Is it just inheriting a franchise with a terrible record and making them average?
Yes.
Well, Nagy went 12-4 in 2018 with the Bears.
But yes, it is the idea of you have to have a team that no one thinks anything of, and then you have one good year.
Competitive. But the NBA one seems more like you get a coach who goes in and coaches that team real hard and gets the most out of really talented players, and then the players get tired of it, and then the locker room stuff starts happening.
And they fire him.
Almost all of these guys got more out of their teams than they should have, and then the players got tired of them.
Yeah, like I'm looking through like NBA coaches of the year. Sam Mitchell was a coach of the year.
No way.
Scott Brooks.
Yeah, Scott Brooks I thought was actually pretty good.
Dwayne Casey.
Also good.
Yeah. Monty Williams, who's been fired.
Also good.
Was he?
I think he was, yes.
Fired multiple times.
I think a lot about the NBA, it's a lot about just who you get, the players. But, he won 65 games or something with the Suns.
Yeah, and then he was in Detroit for like a year, and they canned him.
But he didn't have any players. This is my point. If you have good players, you can show that you're a good coach. Yeah. This is why it was never, to me, it was never really Terry Stott's fault.
Yeah.
They weren't that, he was coaching them about as well as a coach could coach them.
His career coaching record, 381 and 404.
Who?
Monty Williams.
381-4. Yeah, well, he's had a lot of bad rosters. When he had good rosters, he was good.
I guess it is the notion that if you're a really good coach, you get stuck with a lame ass team. There's only so much you can do, and if you
exactly,
and if you're that same coach and you're given a great roster, like the Phil Jackson thing, like Phil Jackson never had anything but great teams. But let's not take away from Phil Jackson. That's a tough job, but you have to have the pieces, I guess the ingredients to cook a first class meal. But that doesn't mean that we don't give the chef credit. But coaching is largely you have a ceiling put on you unless you have elite talent.
Now that I'm looking at the NBA Coach of the Year award winners, I would argue that the NFL list is worse. You have and again, it's not that these guys are bad coaches. It's just that when you have Jason Garrett and Matt Nagy on your list, who are the Jason Garrett and Matt Nagy of the NBA's list? Because you got Thibodeau, you got Monty Williams, you got Mike Brown, you got Diagonal, Kenny Atkinson, Nick Nurse.
Budenholzer won too, and no one wants him.
Budenholzer, to me, that's not Jason Garrett. That's a good coach. Dwayne Casey, Mike D'Antoni, Steve Kerr,
Byron Scott,
Popovich, Carl. Thibodeau again, Scott Brooks. Yeah, you go back to Byron Scott. He wasn't very good. He won it with the Hornets. They went 56-26. Sam Mitchell with the Raps.
I do
Avery
think
Johnson.
A lot of it is Buck was right. You get hot. You get hot, and we do it every year in every sport. There's a team that outkicks the coverage, and then we think that they're going to continue to do great things, and they don't. What was like the NBA? What have we had? The Atlanta Hawks made a conference finals run. Remember that with Trae Young? Where'd that go? Right?
Who was their coach? Do you remember?
I think it was Budenholzer.
Was it?
I think that's right.
I think he was the coach.
How do you know that? That's amazing sports knowledge.
I think that's where he coached before that. And by the way, don't give me credit until you.
I'm not going to give you credit
until you look that up.
Let's see here.
But
Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, however many years ago that was.
Yeah, no, that wasn't Budenholzer.
That wasn't Budenholzer?
Well, no, he got them. They've had 2 trips to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Okay.
The first one was Budenholzer.
Budenholzer.
And then the second one was Nate McMillan took him over.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah. So that
Mid-season he took over.
The first
Four
one then wouldn't
Budenholzer,
have been
right?
Trae Young. I don't think he's been around that long.
No,
But
the first team had.
But like Carmelo Anthony made a run to the conference. The Blazers made a run to the conference finals, for God's sakes. We see this all the time, where a team has a good year, and sometimes in the NFL you make it to the Super Bowl.
Oh, that first Atlanta team, that team was sneaky good. So I forgot Budenholzer coach there, but he was the coach of Paul Millsap, Al Horford, Jeff Teague, Kyle Korver, Dennis Schroeder.
That was a good team.
They had Cephalosha. They were pretty good.
Yeah.
I remember that team. They won like 65 games.
Yeah, and
dude.
then whatever happened after that? You
Oh,
know?
actually, they won 60 games. Sorry.
But then, like, remember with Carolina, like the Jake Delhomme, like Panthers, they made it to the Super Bowl, and then nothing. The Atlanta Falcons, Stan Humphries led a team to the Super Bowl in San Diego.
Yeah, but we're talking about coaches.
I'm just saying but that's my point. Is so much of this is a one-off, 1 year. Things go right. Yes, give the coach credit, but everyone kind of plays above their weight, and you have these special years, and then a year or two later, they're just gone. And the coach is fired, and we look at the team, and we're like, oh yeah, remember that 1 year they did that? Oh yeah, me neither. And you just kind of get lost to history. Every league is littered with teams like this and coaches like this.
Well, the Knicks just got one.
Yeah, Mike, hot, because that'll put you over the top.
He's going to win Coach of the Year next year. You know that, right?
Mike Brown. I get they're one of the teams that could actually be healthy, so maybe they will.
They're
Watch
the
them be
second favorite to win the title.
Are they really?
Behind the Thunder. 8-1 odds for the Knicks.
Did they change by hiring Mike Brown?
They were right there. They were at like 10-1, and the Cavs were at 11-1, and they got a little bit better after hiring Mike Brown.
Odds makers like him.
We love some Mike Brown, just like we love some Nate McMullen.
Well, so we've determined that the NFL equivalent of Mike Brown is Ron Rivera.
Yeah.
And ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
that's the sports segment you didn't know you needed today.
Although I do think that is spot on. Culture guys, good dudes, you like them?
Yeah, I mean, I think that is right because
It's fine.
I thought of Rivera as a pretty good coach.
Yeah, it's fine.
And Mike Brown's a pretty good coach.
It's-
He'll get fired in a couple of years, but he's a pretty good
You're
coach.
fine. Yeah. You know what? Competent.
Pretty good coach. I mean, like Rivera didn't have anything in Washington. Of course he was going to get fired.
Yeah.
He couldn't get that thing over the hump.
No.
That was the end of the Dan Schneider era. You think he's going to win there? No.
No. But
Get
he's
a
got-
new owner, all of a sudden Dan Quinn looks pretty good, doesn't he?
But he's got great transition lenses, and he's.
Did Rivera have the whole RG3 Kirk Cousins thing? Was that on him?
No, that was
Who was the coach then?
that was Shanahan.
Oh, that's right.
the
Yep.
old man Shanahan.
Yeah.
Not young Shanahan.
Yeah.
We're getting
Mike.
old. Rivera, by the way, is the he's at Cal now. Did you know that?
He's their GM,
He's like
right?
he's whatever they calling it GMs now. He's
I think so.
whatever they. Yeah,
He's like the head of
running
football. Yeah.
He's running the football program, but not the coach. I do think they're calling it GMs now.
All right, coming up next, Wednesday Sports Norts. We've got Red Panda News, and Dylan Gabriel and Pacifica have joined forces on the Fan.
The home of
All right, got some Wednesday sports snorts for you guys out there.
True story.
Never stiff your dentist. That's coming up.
What?
But Red
Can you
Panda.
Stiff a dentist?
A surprising sports crossover.
Yeah, yes, that's right. A surprising sports crossover coming up.
Interesting.
But Red Panda was injured last night.
Yeah, they're trying to get like a GoFundMe going for her. People are freaking out. I didn't know the Red Panda was so beloved.
She's revered.
She's a huge deal. So you've probably seen her if you've been at the Blazer games or, I don't know, like if you've been in an arena halftime show. She's the lady that comes out on a unicycle and does bits with cups and plates.
Yeah, she stacks bowls.
She flips bowls from her foot onto her head.
She's amazing. And her name is, she calls herself Crystal, which is, I don't know.
Well,
that's not a real name. But,
a lot of times if you, like the BTJ's family does this, is you get an American name because your native name is hard.
Dear Mr. Japan, here's the story.
I don't even know what he said there. What did he say?
No one knows.
Dear Mr. Japan, here's the story.
Dear Mr. Japan, here's the story.
Wrong New is her name.
Yeah.
And she fell from her 7-foot unicycle. She was at the WNBA. I don't know. They have some in-season tournament like the NBA does.
Commissioner's Cup final.
Which I love that they've played like 12 games and that they actually had like a full-on celebration with champagne and everything.
Oh, yeah.
And Sophie Cunningham
Who won?
was twerking. The Indiana Fever.
Without Caitlin Clark. A big upset.
What?
Big.
And I guess they made.
Clark is white.
I guess you make more money for winning the Commissioner's Cup than
That's
you do.
what they said?
Than you do the WNBA Finals.
Wait, the team does?
Yeah.
Or
Like
the
they put a
players?
bounty on it,
I think
kind
you
of
get like
deal?
a $30,000 bonus, which is, and I think you only get 20 for winning the whole thing.
Also on the
Wow.
live stream, Caitlin Clark issued her strong concern for Red Panda.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
We're very concerned. She hurt her wrist.
She has the Caitlin Clark endorsement. So she fell.
Yeah.
And they had to wheel her off in a wheelchair out there.
She need a wheelchair with a bad wrist.
She Paul
but-
pierced it.
I know.
You think she pooped?
She seemed.
God, Buckley.
Well, that's what Paul Pierce did. He pooped and then he did the wheelchair.
She is up there a ways. Man.
Oh, she's way up there.
It's a decent fall.
Yeah, so I wonder if we've seen the last of Red Panda. She's not young.
No, she's not.
And she needs a wrist to flip those bowls.
She's getting up there in age a little bit.
Seriously though, her bit, like, I think it's probably pretty hard to book halftime shows, especially in arenas like for NBA games. Because they get the dogs that
Get
run
the frisbee dog again.
It's like, oh my god.
So the main one is you get the frisbee dog, you get the quick change people.
Yeah.
The guy and gal that dance and then they change outfits.
A contortionist, usually, the person that can fit inside of a hoop or a box
But
or whatever.
Right.
The big one,
Red
the big,
Panda
the big
is a
dog
star.
is the Red Panda.
She's the star of those types of
Yeah,
shows.
yeah.
Everybody wants her. I don't know what she's worth, but she probably makes a mint doing what she does.
I saw an article, I think, on The Athletic that she does make a very nice living. She's not rich, but she makes a very nice living. But it was like Darren Ravel said that like she can't get insurance because she has a risky job, and then therefore like
She's an acrobat.
He was calling on the NBA to fund her medical bills, and then someone else was like, "No, we got to take care of the Red Panda. Go fund me." Even though, dude, she fell on her ass and then she got a sprained wrist. I think she's not dead.
She's been performing since 1993.
Yeah,
she might be dead.
I don't think so.
Did you guys watch the video of the fall?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looked rough.
It did look rough.
Like she just goes down in a heap. It feels like she probably broke her wrist, but maybe some other stuff too.
I just don't like watching old ladies fall.
Well, she fell on the tuchus, and if you ever bruised your tailbone, your coccyx,
that hurts.
I'll tell you what, Red Panda's a little sore right now because you fall on your ass like that from 7 feet up, you're gonna feel that one.
I'm just worried
and
about
then
her.
the wrist. Are
Worried
you?
about her? Yeah, I am.
She's 55. So.
Yeah, she's old, dude.
Yeah, she's old.
I mean,
she
that's
needs to
not
get
that
on.
old.
She needs to get on that HGH. She needs to get on those peptides, that Aaron Rodgers stuff. Heal her up.
She's from China, so perhaps if she does make a comeback, Yang helps get her into the Moda Center.
Well,
for
how
some
about
halftime
this?
shows.
T's and P's, right? Thoughts and prayers, and they're saying that the Red Panda. I saw this. Oh, never
You
mind.
have her net worth over there?
Well, there was an article.
She married?
That I don't know, but I saw an article where they talked about she makes. Yeah, here it is. Depending on WNBA, NBA, but you have to provide her travel and lodging, so you got to fly her out there.
Okay.
And then she makes, depending on the event, between $25,000 and $5,000 per show.
2,500.
Yeah, 2,500 and 5,000.
Yes.
And then for bigger events, all-star games, final stuff, that she can charge up to 15.
Dude, that's great.
So,
And her act's like 10 minutes long.
5 minutes.
5 minutes long.
Yeah, I'm reading something here that says that she regularly performs at 60 basketball games per season. And so that clip, that's pretty good.
Yeah, so if you do,
let's give her 3,000 on average, 60 games, all expenses paid.
Yeah.
She's making 180. I don't know. I assume that's taxed.
And then
it's not under the
and
table.
let's chop in maybe a couple special events that you throw in there. She maybe gets a little bit more. I bet she
makes
clears
2 1/4.
She makes two and a quarter. All the travel taken care of.
Would you?
No. Have you seen her lately?
Yeah, I watched her fall.
Yeah, years ago.
She married?
Couldn't tell you.
I want to know more about her.
Couldn't tell you.
Where does she live then? Tell me that. You don't have enough red panda facts for me.
Go look it up. There is an Athletic article from a couple years ago that delved into this, and to be honest with you, I don't remember it. I remember reading it because I remember that, but I don't remember if she's married or.
Well, thanks for nothing.
Well, I told you how much she made.
She first made her U.S. home in Orlando at age 19.
Oh, so she's been here forever.
All right, Dylan Gabriel has joined forces with Pacifica, and we have an update on that D-Bags fan who is... Have you seen that?
Yeah, he got banned.
There's a guy that's been involved in umpire reviews at Arizona's baseball stadium in 4 straight seasons. We have an update on him coming up as Wednesday's Sports Snorts continue on the Fan.
A SportsCenter update on 1080 The Fan.
Brian Buckley with this SportsCenter update. First on The Fan, DeAndre Ayton is now going to be a Los Angeles Laker. This after the contract buyout from the Portland Trail Blazers. Meanwhile, over in the Eastern Conference, the New York Knicks reportedly hiring former Cavs, Lakers, and Kings head coach Mike Brown as the new head man in the Big Apple. Meanwhile, on the Diamond tonight, the Mariners back in action, taking on the Royals once again. Logan Gilbert gets the ball for the M's, while Noah Cameron takes the hill for Kansas City. First pitches at 6:40 from T-Mobile. The second round out at Wimbledon today sees 2-seed Carlos Alcaraz advance in straight sets. 5-seed American Taylor Fritz outlasts Canadian Gabriel Diallo in a 5-setter. Meanwhile, American Frances Tiafoe going home, ousted by Brit Cameron Norrie. In the women's bracket, 6-seed American Madison Keys advances in straight sets, as does top seed Arina Sabalenka. They just kicked things off in the CONCACAF Gold Cup semifinal between the USA and Guatemala. That one is over on Fox Sports 1. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Ryan Buckley at the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at WarrenAllen.com.
More, please. Golf in the Northwest with Jason Sweat.
Second hour radio broadcast today here in the show. We've had a lot of hot Red Panda talk even during the break.
We're playing with heavy hearts.
We sure are.
Yeah.
You know, we're finding more and more out about her as we dig through internet.
Although her personal life tends to be quite private. As far as we know, no children, no husband. We did find out about her parents, though, and that the Golden State Warriors once bought her a replacement unicycle when hers was stolen.
Yeah, how could you steal the Red Panda's uni?
Do you even know? Because it got stolen from the airport.
Crime of opportunity.
Yeah.
You just see something there, I'm going to grab this.
Yeah, probably not.
Well, it is kind of weird. Remember, I was at the airport once and I saw someone trying to steal your bag.
That's right. You caught him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't believe you shot that guy.
Where were we coming back from?
Oh, hell, I don't know.
It was like somewhere, and I knew Rob's bag, and I saw someone go over and take it, and I'm like, excuse me, and they were like,
it's gold bedazzled.
Yeah, I forget, did you have like a KU logo on it or something?
Yeah, I think there was a Jayhawk on it or something.
Yeah, and I saw some dude, like Rob was like going to the bathroom, and I saw some guy go over and grab Rob's bag, and I was like, dude, that's not your bag, and he goes,
so sorry.
And then he took off. He just left. I do love that at the airport, by the way, like they have all that security for everything until you get to the baggage claim, and then it's just a free for all.
I have thought about that. Anybody could walk in there and just start taking suitcases.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess people don't. Otherwise, they would.
No,
but
I think they do that.
Do they?
Yeah, I think that happens.
Again, had I not just happened to see the Kansas logo or whatever, we would have been there for like an hour and Rob being like, hey, where's my bag? And then we're like, it must have gotten lost. No, it didn't get lost.
It says they scanned it, sir.
Yeah, someone took off with it. So I'm guessing that unicycle comes through in a big sort of case or whatever, and someone's like, I don't know what that is, but yoink, it's mine now. And the worst part is they steal her unicycle and they probably like sold it for $5 or just threw it away.
Yeah, can you imagine their disappointment when they open that thing up?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, look at this huge case. What's in here? Oh, it's a unicycle.
Yeah, what do you do with a 7-foot unicycle?
Maybe do you think the Uni Piper has it? You think it was him?
That son of a bitch.
That's how he got his unicycle?
Except his is a normal size unicycle.
Oh.
Did he chop it down? Is that what you do? You break down the 7-foot unicycle?
Hers is adjustable.
You know what we didn't take into account when considering the Red Panda's life?
What do you got?
All the money she has to spend on the bowls.
Oh, yeah.
Because she breaks them.
Well, I think they're probably plastic.
No, because when she drops them, they break on the floor.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
That I didn't know.
I'm making that up, I think. I don't know. I think I remember that, but
I'm guessing those are plastic.
I was just reading something about the specificity of these bowls. Hold on.
Yeah, all
Like,
right.
like they got designed specifically to like rest on her little ankle or whatever.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking up unicycle costs, and if you're just getting your classic, apparently the 16-inch is the standard unicycle. You're gonna do it for 100.
16-inch.
16-inch. I'm guessing that's the wheel.
The wheel. Okay.
You know, like the standard unicycle, 100, 120 bucks.
That's it.
That's it.
What a racket.
I mean, why would it be? And who the hell's riding a
No, I'm saying the Red Panda's
The Red
deal.
Panda, yeah.
Like she buys a unicycle for 120 bucks, learns how to flip bowls off her little feetsies on it,
Yeah.
and makes a couple $100,000 a year for what? 5 minutes of work
Yeah.
for 60 nights a year?
Yeah. And so like
The hell?
Well, they said, and I don't know why what makes hers so custom, but apparently if you go to unicycle.com, because hers is a 7-foot unicycle, and the Golden State Warriors, I remember that, they made a big deal. They're like, hey, she got a unicycle stolen, we're replacing it. Well, according to unicycle.com, not to be confused with yarmakula.com, you can buy a 7-foot deluxe giraffe unicycle right here. That's what they call it. $510. I thought it would have been more. I thought, $500.
It's a niche, unique item. Yeah.
You better believe I clicked on the ad, and it is yarmakula.com.
That's how you spell yarmulke.
Not to be confused with a road touring unicycle. Like, what? Who's taking the unicycle on the road?
Red Panda.
Because that's the
And
most...
the Unibomber, or not Unibomber.
The Unibomber?
The Uni Piper.
Because if you want a Nimbus 36 Oracle unicycle, that's for the road. It's going to run you $800.
What's the Uni Piper? Do we have to pay to get the Uni Piper out?
I'm guessing. And I'm guessing it's not $3,000.
Or is the attention payment enough that he just does it on his own?
I'm guessing the Uni Piper to show up.
400.
I say more like 250, but
It's 400.
oh, $400?
Yeah, unipiper.com.
Yeah. All right, so let me ask you this.
Any location within 20 miles of his base of operation.
Is that a deal or is it
Is that a good deal, you're saying?
Guess who's coming to Sook's birthday party?
Well, like
You think he'll be at Lillard's party at the Portland Art Museum?
well, let's say that Rob's having a shindig at his house, right? You're having a gathering and you're like, hey man, we gotta take this up a notch. We gotta bring someone in. And I'm like, Unipiper, dude. Are we and we pooled together $400?
I tell you what.
Are you feeling good about the cost of that, or are you feeling like you got ripped off a little bit?
I have a hot take about this.
Let's go.
I would say that in Portland, I don't think it moves the needle much because
No.
he's here.
We see him.
We see him all the time. But if it depends on who's at my house. If it's a bunch of people from out of town,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
I think that's a good deal.
You got the Vader helmet. You got some.
Yeah,
it's
and
the
he
whole
does
thing.
his bits.
Yeah.
$400.
You
I'm
like
okay.
it?
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
If it's a bunch of people, I'm trying to. Well, not that I'm trying to impress them, but you know what I mean.
Sure.
Like
Show
it's
them a
just
good time, something unique.
something different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a party. You
Something
want-
very Portland.
Yeah.
But if it's all a bunch of people who live here, they'd probably roll their eyes.
Okay, well then I'm asking you this. I'm gonna take it a step one further. For $400 to $500, we're gonna keep it in that range. Is that the best thing that we have to offer in the city of Portland? Again, we're having a party. We're gonna invite 50 to 100 people. It's a nice gathering, right? What else could we do for $500 that would be more impressive? Is the Unipiper at the top of our party chain?
You could probably hire a musician or a duo that would be more impressive to play at your party, maybe.
You think that's impressive? Just
People playing music well,
Yeah.
more impressive than a person with a
Yes.
Darth Vader helmet on a unicycle.
That would be
yes.
way cooler.
Yeah.
By a lot.
Like a nice piano
Get a
player?
magician to work the room, do some sleight of hand
a
stuff.
magician.
Do we have him? Wow. Yeah, I guess I do like sleight of hand. That's kind of fun. I was just trying to think of what you're doing for 500. I mean, it's a limited budget.
I think he's priced about right for
Okay.
what he does. Like he's kind of limited. He doesn't sing.
No.
He doesn't. He rides around on a unicycle
Yeah.
with a Darth Vader helmet, playing a bagpipe
with fire.
So,
And look, he's delivering a birthday cake. Delivering a birthday cake, and he's in a
Don't drop
kilt.
that cake.
oh, he's in a kilt.
He's in a
Right.
kilt.
That's his other bit. So other than that, I mean,
How many bits do you need when the bit is already a pretty big one?
I don't
Well,
know.
according to the Best of Portland from Willamette Weekly or Willamette Weekly, he is the
It's
best.
Willamette
He is the best local celebrity 6 years running.
Wow.
So
Are you kidding me?
This is according to Uni Piper.
The best local celebrity is that guy?
6 years running.
That's code for we don't have any local celebrities.
So
I mean,
you're
let's no offense. Look, he's got a good little thing that he does. It's just, I don't know. It's not like.
So what you're saying is there's a market here for someone to step up and
Yes. What's your bit going to be?
I
Step up, local radio funny man.
Well, again, I can't.
Podcast tough guy.
What do I do?
I don't know. Put on again, follow his blueprint. You need a helmet.
I need a helmet.
You need funny pants.
Tandem bicycle.
Yeah, right. You need some sort of vehicle, and you need to play an instrument. Play the flute on a.
What we need
on a dirt bike.
I'm thinking
with
this.
a cowboy's helmet and assless chaps.
Ooh, put a drum kit out on a pontoon boat. Just wail.
But that's going to limit me. Now I have to go to the water. Now you're limiting me.
It's like that guy. Doesn't the guy in New York City play the
naked cowboy?
Yeah, he's naked and he plays.
Yeah, he's in some whitey tidies and he just
he plays the guitar.
Plays the
See,
guitar.
it's not hard.
Well,
you just got to commit.
I don't think I have an.
This is making the Red Panda look really good, by the way.
Exactly. If he's the best, like the Red Panda is a national treasure.
Now, if the Uni Piper
goes down,
flipping bowls on from his feet to his Darth Vader helmet, now I'm impressed. Now he can up his fees.
Yeah. I've never seen him fall, but I was at the Timbers game when he butchered the national anthem. I do remember that, and it was awkward. The crowd is rough. It was a rough go.
Somebody said 500 will get you an hour with a decent hooker.
Yeah, but you can't do that for a party.
Why not?
I mean,
some people
I think you
can.
could.
Diddy did.
That's true. Yeah, but not for an entire party. If hiring a lady of the evening for an entire party, it's going to cost more than $500.
I don't know. I don't know that. I was just reading the text line. I wouldn't know that.
And look, neither do I. I'm assuming you can't $500 the whole party. Maybe a stripper.
Does
$500 get me a Mary's dancer at my party?
Probably. Let's just wrap this up by saying, I think the Uni Piper knows his limitations, and he is priced about right.
Yeah,
I think that's about
he's
right.
He's in a sweet spot.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah,
because you still see him out there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Dylan Gabriel and Pacifica next on The Fan.
Thanks to our
All right, we're cruising through our Wednesday sports snorts here, guys. That's what we're doing. Somebody texted in and said, which fan personality could I pay $200 to show up to a birthday party for 2 hours? Who would do it for the cheapest, and who would stay the longest?
You could get Will to show up for the cheapest. Will would show up
I might pop by for $250.
For 2 hours?
For 2 hours? That doesn't seem like that's a decent little return.
$250?
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, you're going to get undercut by guys who will show up for cheaper.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying I'll do it for a lot cheaper than that.
Well, then you're not in the running then.
Yeah.
Because I think guys would do it for cheap.
Schultze, Ortner.
I think Swag would be out there.
100%. Well, is food included? Food and drink?
Sure.
I'd imagine.
If you had it on the right side of town, so Swag, because he's coming from the borough. If you had it on the west side, $75 and some drinks, Swag will show up.
$75?
$75. Because the fact that they want Swag there, it might be enough.
Yeah, that's enough for him.
That's enough.
He's like, I'll.
So you throw in some gas money, something where he doesn't feel bad. So it's $75 and some drinks, maybe some decent barbecue or whatever. You're getting Swag. Ortner and Schultze, $50.
$50, huh?
50.
2 hours?
$50. Yeah. Again, within driving distance. I don't want to know what Rob's number is to show up.
It's a lot.
It's going to be a lot.
Oh, I do want to know what Rob's number is to show up.
I couldn't put a number on it until I'm faced with the actual.
If I have 10 crisp $100 bills for you.
$1,000?
Coming by? 2 hours?
You're going for that. You are.
2 hours for $1,000?
Yep.
You're showing up.
I mean, that's pretty easy.
You're getting there. All I need is something interesting.
Although I might duck out a little early.
I don't need money, but I need.
Or for the booze to be good?
I know, and the booze isn't going to get me. I can get booze. My buddy owns a liquor store. Like I need.
But if the booze sucks and the company does too, then what are you doing there?
I need something interesting.
Where you getting paid?
You're going to have to rope me in. But again, no one's going to pay the amount of money that I would drive to go show up. But if you wouldn't have to pay me anything if your party intrigued me. There's got to be something there where I'm like, what? What are we doing? Oh, all right. Yeah, I'll show up to that. I once almost, and it never came to fruition because they never followed up. Because I always joke about Joey Harrington and not being invited to his house. His neighbors were having a Christmas party. And and we were talking, the neighbor was like, come to my Christmas party. And I'm like, I'm crashing Joey's house. I wanted to show up in Joey Harrington's backyard. For that, something like that, I'm going for free. Or if you had something strange and unusual, an interesting sort of party, I'm like, yeah, I'll show up to that. But I don't want to just show up for a random.
But if there's potential for something really weird to go down, you're in?
Yes, 100%.
Well, isn't there always potential for something weird to go
No,
down?
there are crowds where that's never an option.
Yeah. But you don't know that. So why not?
Which is why I need.
Roll the dice.
Well, you're going to have to. I'm not taking for granted that something cool could happen. I need the groundwork laid for something unusual could go down, and you're going to get me at that. Like when I was in Bend this like a week or two ago, I texted my buddy who I hadn't seen in a bit, and I said, hey, I'm in town. Everyone at my house is kind of down. Everyone was kind of hungover. I said, what are you doing? Maybe I'll swing by for a beer. And he sent me an invitation that he had for a summer solstice party, and it was a big giant mushroom with a bunch of moons and stars in it. And it said 5 p.m. to enlightenment. It's going to get weird. That will get me to show up at a party. If you tell me that the hours are 5 p.m. to enlightenment followed with it's going to get weird, you're laying out for me why I should come. No money is required for that.
I feel like that. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like that is the telltale sign that it's not going to get weird.
Oh, it got weird.
When you say it gets weird, it's not going to get weird.
But also it matters who the invite comes from. That was your buddy. What if it was, Jeek Ceases who was inviting you to that? Are you still as interested?
True. Yeah. It's a valid point.
Jeek Ceases having a party. You going? Seemed like an interesting fella.
It's possible.
Street performer.
Yeah.
And his name's Jeek Ceases.
Like, I feel bad because Schultze always invites us to like a Halloween party, and he lives way far away. And I love Schultze.
We'll go then.
Well, no, because again, what's going to happen? It's a long drive. He lives out in like Wilsonville. what's going to happen at Schulte's party? I need something. I need to know. But if you told me that Schulte was into some weird, like, if you told me that Schulte was like a secret, what's the My Little Pony people? The bronies?
I don't know.
What?
Or he's
The bronies?
right? The My Little Pony,
I don't know.
or the furries, right? If Schulte was like, hey guys, Halloween party, just so you know, bunch of my friends are coming, they're furries. And I'm like, whoa. You're telling me that you and your friends are dressed up as furries? That's the sort of thing that I can't, like, money can't buy that. That's intrigue. You can pay me an intrigue as opposed to money to show up at things.
Well, there you go. Suk, he's available. Just make it cool.
Yeah, someone said Russian mafia party thrown by Mark Shaw. Maybe.
Well, you were already at that one.
I was at that one. Let me tell you, it was interesting. Don't know if I'd go back, but they had a pleasure pit. You got to prove yourself in the pleasure pit.
I bet you Schulte's Halloween parties have a pleasure pit.
Well,
Don't you think?
He should put that on the invitation.
All right. Well, we got to nothing there. The In the News segment or two is next. Where do you think Oregon ranks in UFO sightings?
Not that high.
No? Why?
I don't know. I think like we're more like Bigfoot ghost people. I don't really fancy us as aliens.
Well, you can find out. Coming up next on ITN, here's Buck.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
Ryan Buckley with the Sports Center update. First on the Fan and the association. Former Blazers big man DeAndre Ayton is signing with the Los Angeles Lakers following his contract buyout with the Blazers. In the Eastern Conference, the New York Knicks will hire former Cavs, Lakers, and Kings head coach Mike Brown to replace Tom Thibodeau in the Big Apple. On the Diamond, Seattle and the Kansas City Royals back at it tonight at T-Mobile Park. Logan Gilbert getting the ball for the Mariners, while Noah Cameron takes the hill for KC. First pitch down in Soto at 6:40. In the NL, the Braves ace Spencer Schwellenbach has been placed on the injured list with a fractured elbow. He won't throw for at least 4 weeks and is expected to be out longer than that. Meanwhile, the semifinals of the CONCACAF Gold Cup going on right now between the United States and Guatemala. The U.S. already out to a 2-0 lead just 24 minutes in. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Ryan Buckley at the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Jump back to earlier parts of your favorite fan shows on the Odyssey app. The only way to rewind Portland's sports leader, 1080 The Fan.
Well, you always got to watch Suk because he's conniving, and I think what he's doing there with that, hey, invite me to the party, show me some intrigue, and I'll show up.
But it better be cool.
Yeah, what he's doing there is he's getting you to invite him to his party, and then he's gonna fake an injury or find a way to get hurt, and you don't want that because he's gonna sue your ass because he has the best personal injury attorneys in town on his side.
You're on to me, aren't you?
I'm on to you.
Yeah.
You're scheming.
That's right. Invite me. I know something. Plus, when it's unusual, now there's strange circumstances. You know who loves strange circumstances? The advocates.
That's right.
That's like, hey, this isn't normal. There was no waiver signed. Let's go.
They're perfect. Ken and Donnie, they are the advocates. They are of no cost to you. They don't get paid until you win. If you are injured at a weird party, you need more than a lawyer. You deserve an advocate. Go to advocateslaw.com. That's right. Primetime with Isaac and Suk. And yes, believe it or not, this is 1080 The Fan. It is July 2, 2025. It is time now for In the News. I am your noted and humble newsman. Thank you. Thank you so much. Please
Don't forget
be
about
seated.
handsome.
And handsome. Clearing my throat to deliver the news.
What key are you in today?
I'm in key respect.
You need one of those like
I'm in the respect key.
those little things. Remember, like your music teacher would blow in one as
The kazoo.
as if we know, like to get the key right. She'd be like as if anyone knew what key we were gonna sing in. She's like, yeah, that's the one.
It's brought to you by the Advocates, injury attorneys at advocateslaw.com. Today is National UFO Day, and I have UFO news here in a moment.
Okay.
It is also Made in the USA Day. Do you know what percentage of what Americans buy is actually made in the USA?
About the same percentage of people who claim to see UFOs. Very little.
Really?
I'm gonna say 20. Well, that's everything, right? So I mean, your
Everything.
cars, furniture.
This is from the U.S. Department of Commerce.
That's probably a little better than I think. It's like clothing. I think I have like one piece of clothing that's actually made in the United States. I'll go like 35%.
52%.
Oh, that's better than I thought.
52%.
USA. USA.
Although I never really care where anything is made. If I like it, I'm going to buy it.
Yeah.
You know?
There was a little company that's it's like a surf skate company out of LA. That their stuff's more expensive, but it is everything is local in California. And I pay a little more for that simply because I know it's a small little business out of Los Angeles and it's actually made here. I pay a little more for the USA tag. I think that's okay.
So you said you don't think Oregon ranks high amongst UFO sighting states.
No, I don't know. I just don't think of us as a big UFO hotbed. Are we?
We're number 4.
Get right the hell out of town.
That's right.
How come we never read about it?
Number 4. This is a study that came from the National UFO Reporting Center. Anyone who lives in the Pacific Northwest is unlikely to be surprised by these results. The West Coast collectively accounts for the most UFO sightings in the country. California, number 1 state for UFO sightings. Washington is number 2, and Oregon is number 4.
Kick ass.
Yeah.
I just don't ever. I never see it in the news. I've never known anyone that claims to have seen a UFO. I got nothing.
Oregon is home to the world's second largest UFO festival. The annual McMinnville UFO Festival celebrates a famous 1950 sighting in the Oregon town of McMinnville.
I do know that.
You do know that.
I do. Never been to it. But yeah, I see the people kind of dressed up. But do you know anyone that claims to have
No.
seen an alien?
I do know that.
No.
Would you rather see alien or ghost?
Alien.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really care about Ghost.
I don't really care about aliens either, but I think I'd rather.
Oh, I do.
Do you?
Dude, yeah.
I think I'd
If
rather
aliens are real, they're more scary to me than ghosts.
Well,
Would
of
you rather
course.
see a ghost then? Or an alien? One comes to your door. What do you want it to be?
Well, I don't want to be probed, or do I?
Well,
I
there's no
just feel like there's more inherent danger with an alien. Give me the ghost.
danger. Okay.
The idea, I'm taking danger out of it. I'm just saying what the alien can tell me.
What if it can't tell you anything?
That's
You don't
what I'm
speak the
saying,
same
the
language.
thing. All right, so I find out that there's more of an advanced race out there zipping around the galaxy and they're zipping people up and probing or whatever aliens do. Or I find out that there's an afterlife and that the ghost tells me like what's going down. I kind of Scooby-Doo ghost penis mystery. Yeah, I want to know what the ghost has going on.
Okay.
I think I'm going ghost. I'm taking fear out of it just off the knowledge I can get. Give me Beetlejuice over E.T.
No Toltina is at it again.
That bitch.
Whoa.
Wait, did she do something good?
Wait, yeah, I don't know.
Well, she has signed an executive order banning cell phones in schools K through 12.
Oh, that's
Ooh.
good. That's gonna go well.
So this means that all Oregon public school districts will have until October 31st to implement a policy that prohibits cell phone use. This will include in between classes, and it will include lunch periods. Oregon is the 27th state to adopt such a ban on the freedoms of our young digital natives.
Yeah, I can't wait for some kid to start talking about his the amendments that guarantee him this right.
Oh, and the parent. Well, what? Now you've taken away his ability to reach out during a crisis.
Yes.
Yeah, get that.
Good for them. I don't know how teachers.
Now I have a question here.
Handle
I
this
feel
crap.
like they took a swing and a miss here. This is for all the public schools, and it goes into effect October 31st. Why
No.
not just start at the beginning of the school year?
Well, she's giving them time to come up with their own. Each policy is going to be different.
Why don't you
And
just
it
say no
doesn't-
phones? We're done here.
It doesn't have to be done by October 31st. They need to come up with the plan by October 31st, and they all have to be implemented by the start of the 2026
I have concepts of a plan.
school year.
You do have to go from concepts to implementing said concepts.
That's right. Yep. There's going to be lots of emails,
Yeah.
lots of meetings,
Yeah, this is
lots of angry people.
Well, you can't do anything without anyone getting pissed.
Lots of kids who lash out because they don't know what to do with themselves.
Dude, it is amazing when you see kids freak out over that. Like, and it happens. Like, you see videos, and I'm not trying to do I saw a video once, so it happens.
No, you take certain kids, you take their screens away. It's Thunderdome.
Yes, dude. There was one not too long ago where he was a big kid. He beat the living hell out of his teacher, who was female, by the way, because she took away his cell phone. That, like, for those kids, that is like, that's like sacred to them.
Yeah, well, that's how they grew up.
Yeah.
How they're growing up. Washington's century-old fuel tax is going up again.
Can't wait.
Well, you've already waited long enough because it started yesterday.
Oh.
Being July 1.
Well, as an electric bro.
Yeah. Look at you.
Except when you
getting over.
Except when you register the car, they scrooge you that way.
How much is it?
I forget, it's way more than if it's a gas. That's how they're making up for it.
Well, how much is it?
I don't remember off the top of my head, but it's several $100.
Isn't it several $100 for just a regular car?
Not in Washington. It's like, I want to say in Washington to get your tabs, it's like $60, $70.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah, it's
Oregon's higher than that.
It's not much, but with the electric car, they screwed you because when I got mine like in November, so I haven't had to redo it. But I remember when I saw the paperwork, I was like, "What the hell?"
Now, why would they do that? Aren't they trying to promote people buying like electric cars?
Because they're saying that we're getting over because we're not paying the gas tax.
gas tax, so we're gonna.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're gonna get you one way or another.
There's just no way around it.
No.
Unless you're Ted Kaczynski.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess is he dead? Did we needle him yet?
Yeah, he's very dead.
Okay, so.
The hike is a 6 cents per gallon tax. The first increase in 9 years.
So you did.
For
So
Washington.
most tanks, what, 15 gallons ish, 15 to 20?
Something like that. Like that.
Why not? Just keep raising them. You'll do so many good things with our money.
You sound cynical.
A little bit. I'm one of those guys. I don't mind if you could tell me that like my tax dollars were going to be wisely spent. I'd have no problem paying my taxes. But it would be nice if, like, I don't know, with all of the money you take from us, which is a lot, we actually got something for it.
You ever wonder how far a body will fly?
Yeah, like catapult,
If you throw it, or...
catapult, or
A pedestrian was killed early Tuesday morning after running into the southbound lanes of Interstate 5.
Ooh, that's not good.
no.
Well, that's not good. I'm not laughing at that.
Sue just laughed at that.
Inappropriate.
I mean, it's really bad.
That was bad. I bet he went flipping too, because if you caught him like at the hip, there was.
Can you imagine not seeing? So there was. It's not like you're slowing down, hitting the brakes. It's like just straight on. Boom ski.
It's not good, man.
The pedestrian has not been identified. Of course, died at the scene. 1:30 a.m. Terrence McTeer, a 37-year-old man, was heading south on Interstate 5 when someone ran into the lanes from the right shoulder. He was driving a Jeep Wrangler. He struck the man in the center lane near Mill Plain Boulevard. No one else was injured and no drugs or alcohol were involved, and he was cooperative.
It's no good.
Imagine how traumatizing that is for the driver.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, it's going to do some damage to that Jeep Wrangler too.
I'd imagine.
Poor Wrangler.
Who pays for that?
Well, I'm guessing that's the insurance. You got to have that good coverage. That's like the mayhem. Can you imagine that mayhem commercial?
That is a mayhem commercial.
That is if you don't have the right insurance coverage, you could be paying. Meanwhile, the dude's just flying through the air.
I'm a pedestrian in the middle of I-5 South.
His shoe goes flying. Because you get hit by a car, you come out of your shoes. You know.
Okay. Would you pick up his shoes if they were nice?
Only if he'd lent them for a triathlon.
I told you the shoes stay on. Glasses, I think you can't. Well, again, they're not on his feet. One's on, one's off.
Yeah, they're just on my dead face.
What if you came across one and you're like, oh, wow, this is really...
It's like a nice
Do
pair of
you
retro-
search for the second one?
They only made 250 pairs of these.
Look, I think it depends on how nice that shoe is. Is it my, and I look at it, like, what are the chances it's my size? It's like a 14? I'm like, oh,
yeah,
man.
it's a 14. Unbelievable. Where's the other one?
I think you might.
How long do you look?
It's a quick look. Like 45.
What if it's on his foot?
Yeah, you can't.
But he's dead.
No, you can't take it off.
Why not? You did the other day.
No.
You said this. We did a whole bit on this the other day.
I left his shoes on. That's where I drew the line.
That's right. You only took his.
was a step too far.
You only took his glasses.
You can't take shoes off a dead man.
You can take glasses off a dead face because you don't have to untie them.
That you can do. But shoes, no, man. Although cycling shoes are Velcro, so it's a little easier to get them off. You can't take shoes off a dead guy. You can't do it. That's a bridge too far, damn it. I've got morals.
But you've already got the other shoe.
I know.
It's good to know where Sook's line is.
It's a nice pair of shoes. He's not going to miss them.
I'm open. I'm open to the idea.
What if you yank the shoe off of him and he goes, hey! You're like, oh!
I'm not dead yet. Then you're like, see, I'm a hero. I was checking on his vitals.
How do we feel about cafes in neighborhoods in Vancouver? Good or bad idea? We'll get to that next on The Fan.
This is The Fan's Window into Sports, a view into today's top stories, brought to you by Window Nation, online at windownation.com.
Had Arch Manning been instituted in the second half of that game, like Nick Saban did a couple of years ago with Tagovailoa, I think there's a reasonably good chance that Texas would have beaten Ohio State and won the national championship. They're very capable of doing it again this year. I believe also that Arch Manning is the best college football quarterback we have seen since Tim Tebow entered the scene in 2006.
I'm not sure which part of that is dumber, but that is one of the dumbest things you will ever hear.
Yeah, two of the dumbest things
That's
you'll
Paul
ever hear.
Feinbaum. I don't understand why anybody cares what
I don't.
he said. By the way, is that a granny? Is that a granny? Mets granny!
Jacked a granny?
They hit a granny off of
Suck
the
it,
Miz.
Mizorowski!
Hey, Window into Sports Report brought to you by Window Nation. 50% off all window styles. Pay 0 interest for 5 years. Free estimate, windownation.com or 866-90Nation.
The Portland Trail Blazers. on 1080 The Fan.
All right, this is In the News, July 2, 2025.
More importantly, can we talk about what a bum this Mizorowski guy is? I don't know what the hype was all about.
I'm not sure, but I don't think many of those were earned runs. He just gave up a granny, but
and then another one.
And then Lindor.
Yeah, but
they went back to back.
Before the granny, I want to say there was an error or something happened.
Look at you poo-pooing the back-to-back
The
dingers
Polish
off
Punisher
the Miz.
is getting handled by the red-hot New York Mets.
Jacked a granny today.
Wow.
So how do you feel about Washington? So you live in Washington, right?
I do live in
Aren't you
Washington.
a Washingtonian?
I am.
How do you feel about stores, cafes,
places of business?
Yeah, like weed shop. Like, how do you feel about that stuff?
Are you asking if I like stores?
In
Yeah.
your neighborhood?
Oh.
Like coffee shops or...
Yeah, I don't have any in my neighborhood.
Well, no, you don't, because in a lot of places, it's against the law.
I can't say I knew that.
Well, I mean, it's zoning.
Zoning.
You know, but in Washington, it's very controversial. But there is a bill in the House, Bill 1175, that is gaining traction that would require cities across Washington to allow neighborhood cafes and stores in all residential areas, no matter what the local zoning laws currently say.
So I could buy my neighbor's house, tear it down, and open a bar?
Technically.
Boy, I'll tell you what. Right now, my two neighbors, those old see you next Tuesdays, both of them.
What's that mean?
They're not good people. You do for yourself. Those old biddies. If one of them died and they tore down their house and opened a store, opened like a cafe or a bar, let's go. Let's do it.
Well, a lot of people don't like this idea because...
Yeah, you don't want the
well, I
invasion
have a weed shop across from my house, and, it's fine, but there
not
are a
legit.
lot of people coming and going, and it is amazing at a weed shop how many people do this.
That is true.
And you're close enough to hear all of that?
Yes, I hear it.
I wonder if we have a neighbor. I sleep with
disgusting.
I sleep with my sliding door open. There is a neighbor of mine, and I don't know who it is. It's somewhere behind me that in the middle of the night sounds like that. And it happens all the time. I kind of come, like, at first I got worried about it. It's been years now. I'm like, God, but get a CPAP. Yeah, I guess I can see that the doubt. I understand why people don't want that.
Yeah, I mean, and the people coming and going, and inevitably there's a fight once every 6 months.
And I think, like, my neighborhood would not...
Or it gets broken into.
Yeah. My neighborhood, it would make no sense to put a store there. But in others,
But then the other part of it is, it can add to the charm of a neighborhood. You got a little coffee shop or whatever, you get some cool.
Well, I got a buddy that lives on Division, and one of the best parts is he walks out of his front door, and there's nothing but cafes, restaurants, all right there within, 30 seconds of walking, and that's pretty cool, but it makes sense. And in other places, it doesn't. So I don't know. I'm kind of split on that one.
I think you can also have a nice happy medium. The neighborhood I lived in San Francisco, you could have businesses, but they could not be chain businesses. So you could basically get like small individually owned shops and restaurants, but you're not going to get a McDonald's.
Okay, I like where that's going.
I don't hate that.
See, because I wouldn't mind a cool little cafe or whatever, but I wouldn't want a Mickey D's.
I think that's right.
I wouldn't want a drive-through.
If you've got a little coffee shop, a little cafe, or a little
strip club,
a little panini shop, a little brew pub.
Hey, hon, I'm gonna go next door to grab a pint real quick and maybe a lap. You got some singles hanging around?
Maybe a little wine shop. None of that is bad. As a matter of fact, I think that's good.
Yeah.
But inevitably,
it's gonna
where the line is that's the hard part.
Yeah. Well, that was like the cool thing, like when you're in Italy. I feel like that's more of a big city, and like I'm in the suburbs. I don't think the suburbs make sense, but in cities, it does.
Well, in Portland, you do kind of have that in a lot of areas.
And that's why some of the neighborhoods in Portland are freaking phenomenal.
Yeah, right. That's right. It
makes
helps. It helps create the vibe of the neighborhood.
Yes.
And it can be pretty good.
Yeah.
And then you put in a crappy hotel, and all of a sudden, everyone's doing heroin.
Yeah, I just. This is all case by case. I don't know where I'm kind of a fence sitter on this.
Don't be a fence sitter, Jace.
I will.
But it's a thing. Yeah. They're talking about passing that in Washington.
All neighborhoods, huh?
Yep. Yeah, the whole state.
Thunderdome. Huh. Okay.
In the News is brought to you by the Advocates, injury attorneys at advocateslaw.com. That is it for July 2nd, 2025. Never stiff your dentist. That is next on The Fan. Hey, it's Rob sticking around for The Nation, Window Nation, where it is July. They always have a different deal for you every month to incentivize you to get new windows for your home. And right now, July's deal is a great one. You can save big this month, 50% off all Windows styles at Window Nation. You'll pay 0 interest for 5 years. That is no interest until 2030. So Window Nation has energy-efficient windows. You save money every month on heating and cooling all year long. And while they are nationally backed, they are locally based. They partner here with Milgard in Portland to build top-quality windows for our climate and to their high standards. So don't miss out. This is Window Nation's best sale of the year. They have a 96% customer satisfaction rating. Get with Window Nation now for a free, no-obligation quote. 2 ways to do that, 866-90NATION or log on to windownation.com. That's 866-90NATION or log on to windownation.com. And please tell them you heard it from your window daddy, Isaac, on The Fan.
Swag back with you from my friends at Forest Hills Golf Course out in Cornelius. It's the best golf value on the west side. All the work that Marcus and his crew have been doing over the last several months are now in pristine shape with the weather that we've had. The new green complexes are all in at 16 and 17 and 8. They've opened it up to take advantage of the stunning view, so enjoy a great round of golf and a great sunset. Book your tee time now, golfforesthills.com. Tell them Swag sent you.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FRESH to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
See website for details. BillsHappen.com is not a lender. It does not make credit decisions. Must be 18 years old. Not available in all states.
Honey, everything is so expensive, and our bills are piling up.
You're telling me credit cards are maxed out, rent is due, and the car payment's right around the corner? We need some extra cash.
We should do what my friend from work did. She went to BillsHappen.com and got the money she needed the next day.
Our credit is not great. Are you sure that would work for us?
BillsHappen.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with all credit types get up to $5,000.
Sounds like it's going to be a hassle.
My friend said it was super easy. She did it right from her phone during her lunch break.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan for up to $5,000, and your cash can hit your bank account the next day. BillsHappen.com's lenders have millions of dollars to lend, regardless of your credit history.
Guess what? I went to BillsHappen.com, and we're getting our money tomorrow.
Wow, that's fast. Problem solved.
If you need extra cash, go to BillsHappen.com. That's BillsHappen.com. BillsHappen.com.
The home of Dirt and Sprague is KFXX, KWJJ HD2, Portland.
This is now my duty. Well, you can do it, I can do it.
1080 The Fan, an Odyssey sports station. Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
Ryan Buckley with this SportsCenter update. First on The Fan in the association today. Former Blazers big man DeAndre Ayton expected to sign with the Los Angeles Lakers following his contract buyout with Portland. In the Eastern Conference, the New York Knicks will hire former Cavs, Lakers, and Kings head coach Mike Brown to replace Tom Thibodeau in the Big Apple. The Knicks now the second favorite to win the NBA title at 8-1 odds. On the diamond, Mariners and Royals get back at it tonight in Seattle. Logan Gilbert gets the ball for the M's, while Noah Cameron takes the hill for Kansas City. First pitch from T-Mobile at 6:40. In the NL, Braves ace Spencer Schwellenbach has been placed on the injured list with a fractured elbow. He won't throw for at least 4 weeks and is expected to be out longer than that. And in the CONCACAF Gold Cup, the USA and Guatemala currently at halftime, the U.S. with a 2-0 lead. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Ryan Buckley at the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at WarrenAllen.com.
The original home of the Herd with Colin Cowherd. Weekdays 9 to noon. 1080 The Fan.
Good afternoon. At the tone, Pacific Daylight Time will be...
It's 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock.
One step closer to my own personal hell.
This is Primetime on Sports Radio 1080 The Fan.
We expect the best. We're not afraid to break someone. Do you hear me?
Primetime is your source for the best in local, regional, and national sports.
Go ahead and clap. Mediocrity deserves applause.
Isaac Rob.
I'm miserable. I had to get up at 10 o'clock this morning.
Jason Sakanik.
I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
Primetime on 1080 The Fan.
All right, welcome back. Hope you're having a nice little Wednesday at your Sports Bros. Rob, that's me. Big Sook's right over there.
Right here.
Look at him. Ryan Buckley is here. We are partying. Yeah, put him in jail.
Bringing his father-in-law back from rehab this weekend. Gosh, it's rough to be a Buckley.
Yeah.
Yeah, Buckley's once again taking an early vacation. He'll be gone tomorrow, heading out to the beach to do what rich people do.
After Buckley said that he was strapped to that chair, and now he's missed like 6 shows since then.
I think it's been 1, but yeah.
1? 1.
Maybe 2.
Maybe 2.
Well, anyway, we got a big show here. We always say that, and we never really deliver that. But
once in a while.
Nor have we today.
We keep trying.
Yeah, speak for yourself. It's been a phenomenal effort.
I've liked today's show.
25 minutes on Red Panda was and Unicycles was very solid.
Portland celebrities in general. And
spontaneous Portland moments.
Yeah, I mean,
you never know what you're going to get.
We've covered a lot.
It's been a well-rounded show, okay?
Now we have to get to serious sports, or do we? That's
hot
the question.
Hot DeAndre Ayton news? Going to talk about the Dominator?
I'm trying to look at my notes here. Okay, so coming up, there is something that has happened for the first time in history in the world of media. It's the world of media.
So it's happened outside of the world of media, but not in media?
No, it pertains to the world of media. It's never happened.
Okay.
But in the world of media, it is a first.
Okay. Well, and we got Diddy news, too. Don't forget about that.
Well, that's in the club. Yeah, we'll talk about Diddy. Someone around here was really sure Diddy was going away for a long, long time.
Yeah.
But he is not.
No,
well, he might, but
see.
he's not. He got...
You gonna be
Diddy's got some good attorneys.
Hell yeah, man! He's got that baby oil
and
out.
The feds, I think they've lost their fastball.
Maybe loyal fans, they are partying in the streets.
Oh yeah.
Did you not see this today?
You haven't seen that?
Oh,
they're bringing out the baby oil.
Baby oil parties in the streets in front of the courthouse
with no shirts.
You want to get me to a party? There you go.
They were chanting something about no Rico, just Frico.
Wow,
what a world. Yeah, that's the club tonight. Got some good stuff there, and some other stuff. Hey, so real quick, I got the All-Star starters. Mm-hmm. They have been announced tonight, so I want to give those to you on the fan because we're sports. I think
it's called sports. It's called baseball in particular.
Yeah.
In the American League, it will be Cal Raleigh,
the dumper,
Vlad Guerrero at first, Gleyber Torres at second. Jacob Wilson of the A's at short.
You have to have AA. You have to have AA's player.
Well, the guy's hitting like
as a starter, though. You don't.
He's hitting like 350. And by the way, I was reading an article. I think it's called USA Today. Have you seen USA Today? That publication.
I think it's USA Today.
USA Today. They had an article about how in baseball the pendulum is shifting. Strikeouts are down to their lowest level since 2017, I think it
Yeah,
said.
just a couple years ago, everyone was bitching and moaning that it was either a home run or a strikeout.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not anymore. There are a lot more guys just bat on ball. Jacob Wilson is a great example of this.
He's like the king of contact.
Yeah, he's not a slugger, but he's hitting, like I say, I don't know what his batting average is. It's like 340, something like that. And he made the All-Star team doing just this. Gleyber Torres was mentioned in this article that he's had a resurgence because of this.
Well, I was just thinking, because this is all, the starters are fan voting, so I think that's kind of the weird thing is like, you know, you don't really, did the A's have fans?
I didn't know how many baseball fans knew Jacob Wilson was the A's shortstop.
Well, I don't know. But baseball, you know, the contact guy is coming back.
Kwan?
Yeah, Stephen Kwan.
Yeah, the Quaner.
Hitters are starting to, and pitching or hitting coaches are starting to say, hey, convince guys that to get them to understand that, you know, just put the bat on the ball.
Yeah.
A good thing could happen to you, especially with 2 strikes.
Sure.
And guys are following that advice, and it's working. Baseball is a lot less strikeout heavy this year, which is great. Jose Ramirez is at 3rd. Aaron Judge, Riley Green, and Javier Baez.
How about
There's your fan vote.
How about a couple El Tigres getting the start?
Well, all of a sudden, Tiger fans are showing up to the ballpark because they're actually good. Javi Baez, get out of here. What a waste of an outfield spot. Now, listen, I get it. He's had a resurgence, but dude. No, all the nopes.
That's the fan voting, man. Stuffing those, I guess it's not ballot box anymore. Just, you know, hitting the clicks.
And then Ryan O'Hearn will be the DH. Royal Castoff.
Yeah. Look, I'm not going to lie. There's definitely some on that lineup you're like,
dude, that team sucks. Is that the worst American League team we've put out there in a while?
It's not exactly a murderer's row when you look through that.
Here's the National League team. Will Smith at catcher, Freddie Freeman at first, Ketel Marte at second, Francisco Lindor at short, Manny Machado third, and the outfield will be Pete Crow Armstrong, Kyle Tucker, Ronald Acuna, and then DH Shohei Ohtani. Dude, the NL should win this game by 1,000,000 runs.
Yes. Although you don't know, it may come down to pitching, but from a lineup standpoint, yes, the NL lineup is
Ryan O'Hearn
Let
and
Tarek Skubal go 9 and see what
Baez.
happens.
versus Acuna Jr. and Shohei Ohtani.
Gleyber Torres, Javi Baez, and Ryan O'Hearn. That's not even. Those guys aren't even good enough for my fantasy team, and I suck.
You can't make the steamers.
Jacob Wilson is, though. He's on my team.
You know who Jacob Wilson's dad is?
Ooh.
Played in the MLB.
Oh, Brian Wilson. I don't know.
No, that would be former Pirate shortstop action Jack Wilson. Remember Jack Wilson?
Should I know who Jack? No.
He's pretty good with the glove. Do you remember him?
Jack Wilson?
Who?
Jack Wilson. He was a shortstop for the Pirates.
For the Pirate? I do remember him.
Yeah. And it seems like not that long ago.
I know. That's like yesterday. That's his kid?
That's right.
I feel like that's one of those that I should have known, but like I'm like, Jack Wilson? I don't know Jack Wilson.
So there are your all-star starters.
Okay. Yeah.
I need more enthusiasm out of you about that.
I'll get out of the NL, but the AL,
You know what people are saying about Jacob Wilson?
Diarrhea?
Bobby Witt got snubbed by him. That Bobby Witt's WAR and numbers are better.
Well, again, Bobby Witt will be on the All-Star team.
So is that the Sacramento fans just voting?
I don't know. I don't think they
for
have
him?
Sacramento fans.
I thought they were filling up that place out
No.
there.
There
not?
was enthusiasm initially, and it has plummeted.
Yeah, there's no one there. If you ever, when even that crappy minor league stadium.
Most nights they're
it's
setting
just
new
empty.
attendance lows for the season.
Yeah,
because it's also getting to be like 110 degrees out there now.
So again, who knows how you know. Fan voting is an interesting thing, especially now that it's online. You don't even have to go to the ballpark to do it. I remember, like, as a kid, filling out the All-Star thing was a big deal. Go to the Mariner game, you get your little ballot. And
punch them out with your little keys there or whatever.
Yeah.
With your little kid ice cream face and
loved
ice
it.
cream hands all sticky.
Taking it very, very seriously. Like, I want to vote for Alvin Davis, but I don't think he's worthy. I can't bring myself to do it.
Do you remember how, like, as kids, we really did take that seriously? Like, my
Yeah.
vote's going to matter. Like, I don't know what to do
That's
here.
right.
Yes.
Well,
You-
and
you
we knew
took
our
it-
stuff. We paid attention.
You took it very seriously.
And then when you'd hear somebody talking or somebody was with you and they would do something stupid on the ballot, you'd be pissed about it. Like, that's not right. You
Or
can't
your
do
guy
that.
made it. Yeah, I voted for him.
Still trying to comprehend.
I love sports.
Who would have thought going into the season that, one, the Tigers would have, I believe they have the best record in baseball, or is that the Dodgers? It's the best
No,
record
I
in
think it's the Tigers.
It's the best record in the American League, I know that.
Dude, they're nasty.
The fact that the Tigers have the best record in at least the American League, and you're throwing out Javi Baez and Riley Green in the All-Star game. It just
And don't forget about Gleyber Torres.
Gleyber Torres. Yeah, it's just it's a hell of a baseball is it's a strange world at the start of the year when you start like, oh, this team's going to be good. That no, you never know.
All right, coming up next, let's get back to the dental sports news that you
don't stiff your dentist.
That you didn't know you needed.
I didn't even know you could stiff a dentist.
Well, yeah. Well, what do you mean?
If you're getting billed, you don't pay.
Yeah, I mean they send you a bill. Maybe not with you.
Yeah, I guess I just never thought of not.
He's got one of those under the table cash dentists.
Well, he's got buddies who are dentists.
The hitch is you're like leaving the place. Like I don't get a bill. Like I have to pay as I'm leaving.
Oh. Yeah, no, it depends.
Yeah.
Sometimes they run it through insurance and then insurance pays and then they send you the rest.
I always have to settle up on my way out.
But we'll get to that coming up next on The Fan.
The home of dirty
10.
Well, Malik Beasley's in some trouble.
Yeah.
He plays for the
He
Pistons.
doesn't play for anybody.
He did.
Well, now he's dead.
No, but he's probably going to prison.
Well, he appears to have some serious financial issues.
Yeah.
As the U.S. District Attorney's Office launched an investigation, and of course the NBA is cooperating, after some allegations of they say point shaving, but gambling, sports gambling.
Prop shaving at least.
Yeah, prop shaving. And so while rumors swirl about his gambling allegations, the Detroit News, I don't know if you've seen this, but the local paper out there in Detroit, where the Pistons play, that city, the Motor City.
Yes.
They have uncovered some details about his finances. And reportedly,
I just saw that he was having financial problems.
He owes money to a landlord, a lender, a marketing firm, and he also owes a surprising amount to a dentist as well as a celebrity barber in Wisconsin.
Whoa. There's a celebrity barber in Wisconsin?
He was a part of starting a celebrity barber shop, and then he didn't pay his part.
This is from the Detroit News. In January, a celebrity barbershop with a long roster of NBA stars won a $26,827 judgment against Beasley. The barbershop, Cairo Cuts, operates in Milwaukee, where Beasley played for the Bucks. Beasley was also featured in an Instagram post for the dentist who was garnishing his wages from the Pistons this season.
Wow.
Yeah. It says, meanwhile, in January, a Minnesota dentist won a $34,390 default judgment against Beasley. The dentist, from Delicate Smiles, started garnishing Beasley's paychecks from the Pistons in February.
So I get it, Malik Beasley. You said $3,000?
What? Are you talking about the dentist?
Yeah, the dentist.
$34,390.
Okay, he made $6 million. Why can't you just with one game check write the dentist?
Well, he obviously doesn't have it.
But you did have it. You're getting paid every game. You're
going somewhere else.
You made $6 million.
He's also been sued twice by the Stott, a high-rise apartment building in downtown Detroit. The first lawsuit was dismissed.
So he has made just shy of $60 million in his career.
He's a young guy, isn't he?
Yeah, he's like 28. I would love to. Oh, look, you can burn because $60 million is not $60 million. $60 million is,
35.
35, right?
If that.
Yeah, when you're paying all your taxes. So you can burn through, and that's like in 8 years' time. You can easily burn through $35 million in 8 years. But I would like to see where that $34 million went, especially to the tune of like $34,000. You would think after that much money, you could pay off $34,000.
Or is he just delinquent and he had it and wasn't paying?
Right. I think there's that alternative.
That's the Antonio Brown thing, where Antonio Brown has money, he just refuses to pay.
I feel like these people fascinate me, and perhaps our president is one of them. There are people who just. They just don't pay.
No. Very successful,
and
very rich.
I'm amazed at that.
Yeah.
And just the brazen nature of that. Like, I mean, first of all, you're just a horrible person because you owe somebody money. But 5% of me respects it because I feel like they get away with it.
Yeah. Well, I've told this before, but
that's 5% of it.
Yeah. I had a buddy of mine that got into the private equity world. He sold his business to a private equity company and now kind of consults in that world. And he says that a lot of times when you're dealing with big like money, hundreds of millions of dollars that these people are dealing with, he said he encounters it all the time where they stiff you knowing that one of two things: either A, you don't have the resources to fight them and it just goes away, or you get tired of fighting them and you need the money or whatever, and you just settle for way, way less than what they owe you. And that's their MO. It works out better for them to not pay you. And once in a blue moon, they do have to pay up and then attorney fees. But more often than not, either the problem goes away or someone ends up settling because they don't have the means to keep fighting it. So for a lot of people, it's like a strategy. It's a piece of crap strategy, but he says he sees it all the time now in like the big wheelings and dealings.
Well,
but for like a guy like Malik, I mean, by the way, what's $34,000 worth of dental work? Like what?
a Freddie Freeman job.
Yeah,
grill
maybe you
work,
got a
grill work. Maybe.
Yeah, that's probably true. Probably a grill.
Let's go.
It's a lot of coin. Well, now he's in some trouble because if you see some of the clips that are out there of his play, he's clearly doctoring points.
That's what leads me to believe he's not just a guy who doesn't pay, has the money and doesn't pay. Yeah. He needs money.
He needs money.
Because otherwise he wouldn't be shaving points.
Yeah.
And gambling.
Yeah.
Or he's just got so much gambling debt that.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe he's already in deep, and that's where most of the money went, was just gambling.
That's just sad, man.
Yeah, that is kind of sad. Although, hey, man, we all make our own choices, right? It's like,
right.
No, the consequences of my own actions.
Yeah, you make $60 million. You got to be pretty.
And he was in line. Who was the guy? The Pistons signed someone from the Heat because of the Beasley thing.
The white kid.
Yeah, the white kid. Was it
Duncan Robinson?
And they said that basically that would have been Beasley's contract, and it was like, I want to say it was like 4 years, $48 million. Like, there was a way out of this, and that's just get to your next contract.
Well, dude, what if they? I don't know. How did that investigation even come up?
I don't remember.
Because if that had waited like a month,
he would have been paid.
But they would have still.
They still would have
I think they were looking for multiple seasons at his performance and bets tied to them, and it started that way. And regardless of whether he had the money now, they were going to get him on the gambling stuff.
Yeah. It's just, it does seem shocking that you've got financial problems and there's an easy way out. There's $50 million coming. Like, just, you got to wait. Like, let's say this started a year or two ago. You're like, dude, I just have to float long enough to get to 2025, and then I'll get $48 million from the Pistons, and I can repay everything. And he couldn't manage to make it. I guess you can't fix stupid, right?
Yeah, that's pretty bad, dude.
Yeah.
You make $60 million and you can't. I don't know.
Pay
it's just hard. It's
$34,000.
amazing how often it happens.
Yeah.
With athletes.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't be surprised because a lot of these guys don't have the tools. They aren't given the tools.
No.
And it's kind of sad in a way.
Yeah.
But
you
at
get
the
surrounded
same,
with the wrong people too.
I get it. But at the same time, it's just not. It's not that hard.
No.
$60 million.
It's avoidable.
It's totally avoidable.
But again, not $60 million, 35. And who's the Ace Bailey, right? Like this, and I'm not saying this is going to happen to Ace Bailey, but like Ace Bailey, the guy that's advising him,
he's an idiot.
He's an absolute idiot. He from the time he was like 13 years old, this AAU coach got his hooks into him and is now his agent. He's never really been an agent before. He's not a certified agent. And he's now guiding this guy's career. I guarantee that guy's in his business dealings. And so, it starts with that. And then you make it to the NBA, and now you're taking care of your AAU coach, you're taking care of mom, you're taking care of dad, you're taking care of your three friends. And it goes on from there. And you think that it's a never-ending stream of money. And then, of course, you buy a house. And how many guys in the NBA or NFL, whatever, how many of those guys show up to their draft party wearing $100,000 plus of jewelry? And so, you spend $500,000 on jewelry over your first year or two, and turns out that's not worth anything after that. And then you got to buy the nice car. You got to buy you're buying a $200,000 car because you got to show up and make that look right. And then the other one that I've heard about, especially in the NBA, is it's keeping up with the Joneses. Even though you're on a rookie scale contract, everyone around you is making 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 million bucks, and you want to be them.
You refuse to ball on a budget.
Yes.
You just do what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get all that. It's just, to me, it's like, I don't know. It's not that hard. It just isn't. But I do understand how it happens. But everything you just mentioned, let's say you've got a guy who does go down every road you just laid out.
Yeah.
There's not one person in their life anywhere that says to them, pulls them aside and be like, hey, man, this isn't good, and here's why.
Well, unfortunately,
you don't listen to that?
I think, unfortunately, everyone that's in your life has their hand out.
Yeah, but again, there's agents, there's the league supposedly has resources for this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The league talks to players about this kind of stuff. Yeah. Listen. I mean, there's just
But
so much information
the league also
out there.
talks to you about ladies and the Instagram hots, and you still end up with the Zion Williams and the Anthony Edwards and
the Dylan Brooks.
Yeah.
I understand, but I just can't wrap my head around these guys that do just literally everything wrong. Out of 100 things, they do 100 wrong. All you have to do is 1 right or 2 right, and they can't even do that.
I do not want to throw any sort of stereotypes around, and it's only my experience in the NFL was very, very limited, but I was around some really nice guys in my 2.5 years bumming around that were I thought were good individuals, and literally I would hope that this generation is better with NIL and some of that, but they were, dude, they were like intellectually probably a 7th grader. Some of them struggled to read and write. Most of them had never had a real bank account before. I mean, there is no, you're taking for granted financial or even any kind of just general sense literacy. And you're taking someone that literally has no way to cope with any of that, and then you're giving them a lot of money. It's just, they're set up to fail. And even though, like you said, there's safeguards, it's still putting, if you took Isaac Ropp right now and I put you in a Harvard level physics class and it was taught in Mandarin Chinese, but I said, hey, I'm going to give you some help with some tutors, you're probably still failing that class. And I think sometimes we put our upbringing and our general sense of our friends in those situations. And I just, and it's sad, but when you're around them and you just realize that just nothing in their life has ever prepared them for that. It's like,
I get that.
Guys don't understand about car insurance. It's the Quintel Woods, the giving them the car. We all laugh at that, but that's Quintel Woods. Like, what? I've told the story. I watched 2 guys trade cars, no paperwork, no nothing. One ordered a sports car and he didn't realize it was a stick shift. He didn't know what a stick shift was. He ordered like $150,000 car and wasn't aware that there were stick shifts, and he couldn't drive it. He couldn't figure out what the other pedals did. And then another guy had a car that he couldn't see out of the back of because it was too big, and they just gave each other the keys and were like, good. And I promise you, there was no bill of sale, there was no insurance, there was no nothing. So when one of those guys gets pulled over and the cop is like, well, where's all this information? He's like, what are you talking about? I don't know. I got this from a buddy of mine. And to them, it was perfectly normal.
No, I get that. I mean, I've said that a million times. Not being given the tools is one thing, but there are a lot of people who are not given the tools that figure it out.
Yeah,
and they're also not handed $60 million. Yeah. You know, to me, it's more of like, and by the way, this is not a Harvard, this is basic stuff. And to them, I get it. They don't understand it, but it's not that hard to understand. And there are a lot of resources out there to understand even part of it. And there just seems to be a real lack of effort into even wanting to understand it. Because if you want to, it is not that hard. And I don't care how you grew up or what your education level is.
Well, the lessons
just not
are
that
there.
hard.
Like if he's getting sued twice by this building, like after the first time you get sued, just start paying your bills and it stops. Like he's had chances to learn from it, he just chooses not to.
And that's where I'm coming from. Is a lot of this seems like there is a culture, like you laid out. You have to have this, and you have to have that, and you have to have, the next big thing, and keep up the Joneses, and there's that athlete lifestyle culture, and they're all chasing that. And it's to their own detriment, and that's their own fault. Yeah. I don't care what your upbringing was. Yeah. Plenty of guys in that league can help you.
Yes.
The league will help you.
The league will help you.
Internet will help you.
You have to be able to
pay attention.
You have to get away from the leeches and find people with your best interest. And you're right. There has to be a want. And
it's just
by the time the want happens, a lot of times you're in too deep.
Absolute lack of effort, it seems, on a lot of these guys' parts.
I do think that kids today, though, with I would like to think that everything that's out there, I think this next generation of athletes, I think they could be better with it. They're being forced to deal with it younger.
I think that's right. And there's so many.
Yeah. There's apps now, and
you and I were in the
got like the dark ages.
Well, we're that old that
Yeah.
it was kind of new. All this big money in sports was new.
Yeah.
Now it's not.
Yeah.
And it's like there's so many just cautionary tales that surely will improve at this.
I think.
But I think of things like hearing that 60% of Coachella attendees financed their tickets.
That hurts.
And like that's an entire generation who's just like, we'll pay later. That's not
Well,
great.
it's like you see the commercials and it's some guy like in line at something. And it's like, I can't afford this. And they're like, I'll give you $500 instantly. And he's like, hooray, I can buy everything. And it's like stuff like that. It's you're like,
You know what's weird too is you see guys that are super dumb like Gronkowski.
Yeah, that are
and he's
great with their
really great with it. You know what I mean? Like that right there
Mm-hmm.
is what I'm talking about. It's like it's not that hard. If that dumbass can figure it out, so can you, Malik
And he's
Beasley.
probably paying 8% to somebody, but that 8% that he's given away, he's making back 2 or 3 or 4 or 5-fold.
I don't know what he did. The smartest thing is he let somebody else, or at least he had somebody he trusted, or he found some way to do it right.
Yeah.
And you know that guy's a dumbass.
Yeah.
So
he's not a bright guy, but
I mean,
you're right. And like Troy Polamalu went and he did like an internship with like a big hedge fund or whatever. There are a lot of
I think
programs.
he's pretty bright.
He is. I'm just saying, like there are. He's just one that came to mind where he's talked about when he was early in his career. He took advantage of the NFL programs to like you can have financial mentors that will take you as an NFL player.
There you go.
And you just have to be in your offseason. You have to be willing to do it.
They have various pathway programs.
Yes.
The NBA have some of these as well.
These guys just can't get out of their own way.
Yeah. Like I knew a guy that I played with, and he took his signing bonus and bought a mortuary.
Nice.
Yeah. He had a family member. I don't remember if it was his grandfather. Someone in his family owned a mortuary and told him that it's a license to print money. And and with his signing bonus, and I want to say he was like a 3rd round pick. So it was decent, but it wasn't millions, a couple $100,000. And we were sitting around one day and people were asking like what you bought or whatever. And he said he bought a mortuary. A mortuary. And everyone was like, what? He bought a mortuary for like a couple $100,000. Wow. And he goes, no matter what. And he hired someone that he knew in his family to run it that was like in the industry. And he goes, if the NFL never works out, he goes, I will make X amount of money every year. I own that free and clear. And he goes, people die every day.
That ain't stopping.
And I was like, and dude played at Mississippi State. And he was like this super nice guy. And I wouldn't say he was the smartest guy in the world, but he knew that no matter what, he was taken care of. He had a business that he could go to. And of all the businesses, dead guys.
All right, up next, Dylan Gabriel and Pacifica, a match made in heaven. Here's Buckley.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
Ryan Buckley with this SportsCenter update. First on the Fan in the association, former Blazer DeAndre Ayton expected to sign with the Los Angeles Lakers upon becoming a free agent and following his contract buyout with Portland. In the Eastern Conference, the New York Knicks will hire former Cavs and Lakers and Kings head coach Mike Brown to replace Tom Thibodeau in the Big Apple. On the dime, the Mariners and Royals back at it tonight in Seattle. Logan Gilbert getting the ball for the M's while Noah Cameron is on the bump for KC. First pitch from T-Mobile at 6:40. Meanwhile, right now in the CONCACAF Gold Cup, it's the semifinals between the USA and Guatemala. The U.S. leading 2-0 in the 72nd minute. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Ryan Buckley at the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The Fan is live on YouTube and Twitch. And now, Window Nation brings you on-demand videos. Watch Window Nation's window into 1080 The Fan. It's time for Who's Leading the Charge? A look under the hood at the coaches, players, and teams getting it done. Brought to you by Battery Exchange.
Here's Diego Luna now. Luna, great dance, Luna!
That is Diego Luna's second goal in the first 15 minutes of the CONCACAF Gold Cup. Suck it, Guatemala.
Hot Gold Cup talk? I thought we were going to get Commissioner's Cups.
No,
It's all
sir.
about the cups.
Going with football.
That's right. Suck it, Guatemala. Are we really celebrating after beating Guatemala?
They upset whoever they played in the last round, and so this would just put us in the final against. I don't know, but we're winning. Go USA.
We're leading the charge. Battery Exchange, reliable, affordable batteries for cars, boats, RVs, golf carts, and more. Don't forget more. Online at batteryexchange.com, powered by Continental Battery Systems. Mention code BXT10 for 10% off your entire purchase.
The best moments in life weren't meant to sit in a box. Gather
Yeah, so Dylan Gabriel of Your Ducks has he and Pacifica have officially married.
Let's find more sun.
They've joined forces.
Is Pacifica an island beer? I mean, no, it's
no. You're talking about Pacifico.
Oh.
This is Pacifica, the van, the minivan.
Oh, the minivan. Oh, the
Yeah.
Chrysler Pacifica. Yeah, I was thinking Pacifico.
Yeah.
I was thinking we're getting like some summer sips.
No, he's a big van guy. Remember that whole bit?
Yeah.
Where he's like, he took the van out to the.
Yeah, he had a minivan.
Where'd they go? I think they went to.
Let's do that.
Bend or something.
Somewhere, Central Oregon. Yeah.
And he took all the offensive linemen in his stupid minivan, and he loves it. He thinks it's great. He doesn't understand why more people don't buy minivans. Well, anyway, he's actually got a deal with
Chrysler.
With the Pacifica.
Wait, I didn't know Chrysler was still around.
He's going to endorse it.
All right, well, go Pacifica. Is that gonna $42,000 by the way?
Well,
for a Pacifica.
When I saw this, by the way, don't all cars cost $42,000 at this
There
point?
is no such thing. Like I had sticker shock when I went to buy a car last year.
Yeah, they're expensive.
I was like, what just happened? Yeah.
Well, what happened is, I don't know why they're so expensive because they're putting everything's plastic now.
Well, I always thought like a Honda Accord or a Toyota Camry, like that's supposed to be like the most affordable like family. Yeah, go
Sensible
look at
cars.
40 grand.
Yeah, everything. Like I said,
Everything's
40 grand.
Everything's 40 grand.
And then keep going north if you want a nice car.
Exactly.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, maybe you can get yourself a nice Chrysler Pacifica, which I didn't even know they still made.
Well, when I saw this, I thought, why are they using him to endorse the stupid minivan?
What else? Who else is the Chrysler Pacifica going to get?
Well, I thought, my first thought was, I don't remember a automaker or a car brand ad campaign that was good.
No, I remember like Tiger had Buicks and it was laughable because you're not driving a Buick.
They're all the same. It's like they throw McConaughey in a car and they think you're supposed to buy it. I don't know. They're never creative. They're never good. So then I thought, well, okay, I guess maybe this makes sense because the Pacifica is like a mom wagon.
Yeah.
And so you get this young football hotshot guy in there, and that maybe he can make it cool. But then again, he's a backup quarterback for the Cleveland Browns.
Does seem a bit.
It's such a weird.
It does seem a bit odd that's where we're at.
What is the best ad campaign for just car ever?
By the way,
that you can remember.
I had to look this up real quick because I didn't think Chrysler made cars anymore. They don't. Chrysler makes 3 minivans and that's it.
Hell yeah.
You get the Pacifica plug-in hybrid, or the Voyager.
Hell yeah.
That's all they make. The best celebrity car, or you said the best celebrity endorsement?
No, I didn't say celebrity.
Just car campaign.
Just campaign.
Period.
Best car campaign.
Are they ever any good? They always just show the car on a winding road and tell you the.
Yeah.
It's
because I remember like some Super Bowl commercials that were kind of fun, but those weren't really campaigns. That was just a singular ad.
I learned that Chevy was like a rock, and they just looked cool driving over rocks.
Yeah, Chevy was like a rock. I do remember that. That little Bob Seger going on. That one was iconic.
Was it good though?
I bet you it sold a lot of cars or trucks. Trucks, yeah. Trying to think of the last time.
Trucks, balls, yeah.
Because I remember like Volkswagen did the Darth Vader ad with the little kid. That was a great ad, but it didn't make. I mean,
there was one.
It was one ad. It wasn't a campaign.
I
don't know. By the way, fun fact: I owned a Chrysler Pacifica for like 2 months once.
Nice.
Yeah, my late wife. You see, back in the day, look up like 2000 and like I don't know, maybe 10. The Chrysler Pacifica used to not look like a minivan. It had 4 doors. It didn't have a minivan. It looked more like an SUV. And she decided that without my help, she wanted to go pick her own car. She was like, yeah, every time you go shopping, you tell me what I can buy, what I can't buy, blah, blah, blah. So she gets all crowned up, and she goes and she decides she wants to buy this car. So she wants to buy a Chrysler Pacifica. And it looked fine. You know, it was like, it just looked like an SUV. And so we were like, all right. So she's like, this is what we want. So she picked it out. We went and we bought it and we drove it home. And it was like maybe like 2 months later that we went over to some friends of ours' house, and they were like, oh, it's your new car. It's like, oh, it's nice, the Pacifica. And my buddy was like, his name was Spencer. And he goes, oh, that's a nice minivan. And she goes, what? And he goes, yeah. He goes, it's a minivan, because they had the Chrysler Voyager. And he goes, yeah, it's a minivan. And she was so pissed. She's like, no, it's not. He goes into the registration, and on the registration, it will say what kind of car it is. Mm-hmm. It says minivan. And we all started laughing our ass off. Guess what? 2 months later,
that car's out.
She sold it. I was like, you are not selling that car. She's like, to hell I'm not.
It's not a car, it's a minivan.
She got rid of the Pacifica because I was like, what difference does it make? You bought it thinking it was an SUV. She could not get over the mental hurdle, and she sold it, and we bought a used Lincoln Navigator.
Wow.
Yes.
Lincoln Navigator.
She got it. Yes. I think she went like with the thing that you could not confuse. That thing was enormous and got like 8 miles to the gallon, and she didn't care because it was not a Chrysler Pacifica.
I will say that I mean, I don't know what year. You said what, 2014?
Yeah, it was like 14. Yeah, something like that.
I Googled 2012 Chrysler Pacifica.
Yeah.
That does not look like a minivan.
Right?
It doesn't.
No.
It looks like one of those mid-size SUVs
Yes.
that are all out there now.
Which is why I was like, what does it matter? Like, what does it matter? It's just an SUV, and she could not handle that it was a minivan.
Hey, principled woman.
Principled woman. Except we had in Washington, you have to pay sales tax. I'm like, we're just eating that money. And she's like, I don't care.
Well, I have a buddy who has a minivan, and he swears by it, and he does not care how much crap you give him about it. He's like, dude, it's the greatest thing ever. I have 4 kids, both doors open, on the sliding doors on the side.
It's like 13 cup holders, and they're all full.
Yeah, it's great.
Dude, minivan guy that leans in a minivan will not, he will own it.
Well, and they're not wrong. They're not wrong. It's obviously quite practical. It's just
you don't have.
They don't care about the image thing.
Well, and that you have no balls. But still.
Well, look, if it's practical, it's practical.
Trucks, balls, yeah.
You just gotta keep living, man.
Look,
LIVIN.
I try not to be that way, but I'm not driving a minivan. It's not going to happen. There's too many better options out there.
That's right. I'm driving a 2014 Subaru Outback.
Hells yeah. Well, instead of that, if I was ever considering a minivan, there's only one way I would go, and that's just get a full-size van. Why would I want a minivan when I can drive around in like a full-size kick-ass van?
Tell you what, those Sprinter vans are cool.
Yes.
Those things are great.
Now, I want one, though, from like the 80s with like Jesus on the side of it. You know, like a mural painted on it. Something with wood blinds, because you can't see into what I've got going on in the back of the van. Maybe some nice shag carpeting. One of those captain's chairs all around.
Here's a guy who says his Toyota Sienna is going to be his next vehicle. It's dope. He has 0 kids, surfboards, sleeping room, all-wheel drive. Hey, dude, more power to you, man.
Own it, brother.
I love that. I've never really understood just this whole idea that your car means so much to other people, like what you drive. Like, who cares what someone drives? Yeah. But people, they buy into that. They go, "Oh, I got to look cool. I got to have
part of your identity for some people."
Yeah, that's stupid.
We do that with all kinds.
We do
of
it with a lot of stuff. But the car thing is dumb because they're so expensive. Like, it's one thing to pay a little extra because your personal style, like your flair of your shirt.
Yeah.
It's another to pay $100,000 when you can't afford it just because you think it makes other people like you or look cool. You're an idiot.
What is the movie? Get Shorty. They talk about this, that in that movie, John Travolta he's a gangster that's trying to get in the movie business, and he goes to the rental agency when he gets to Hollywood and he asks for a Cadillac, and they give him a minivan. I forget what kind. And the guy's like, "No, I asked for a Cadillac." And he goes, "Well, sir, that's the Cadillac of minivans." So he drives around Hollywood in a minivan, and all of the celebrities that he run into are like, "What are you driving?" He goes, "It's the Cadillac of minivans." And by the end of the movie, as they're leaving the movie set, all the celebrities are driving that minivan.
Yeah.
He somehow turns that minivan cool. The Cadillac of minivans.
All right, coming up next, first time in history on The Fan.
It's time for a Ducks Report, the inside story on Oregon athletics. Brought to you by Mods PDX. The future of building is here.
Well, for the second time in a week, Dan Lanning and the Ducks have flipped a Cal commit. This time it's 4-star offensive lineman Tommy Tofi out of San Francisco. He's a 6'6", 330-pound tackle.
Poor Cal.
Yeah. Ron Rivera's not GMing hard enough down there.
Is it really poor Cal?
No one cares.
Who cares about Cal? Not even Justin Wilcox cares about Cal.
He might a little bit.
He probably does.
But only a little.
I would hope.
Is that it?
That's it.
Mods PDX, the future of building is here.
If you're considering new construction and want it done right,
about the red panda who went down? They've released a statement.
Uh-oh, she's dead, isn't she?
No, but
Uh-oh.
see if you think of this.
Okay.
This from the Red Pandas team. Thank you very much to all NBA, WNBA, universities, and media individuals for her ever-supporting fans for your kindness and concern. Last night at the Lynx/Fever game, she took a fall at the very beginning of the show. This is where I don't like right here. Due to the left pedal of her unicycle that was damaged during transit.
Lawsuit.
Blame game.
You think that's a little... Like,
hey,
really?
If the pedal's not up to snuff, then you pull the ripcord on that show, okay?
We're blaming, like, really?
So she's saying she never would have fallen?
Exactly. Due to the left pedal of the unicycle damaged during the transit? I don't like that we're making excuses for the fall. So her left wrist was severely fractured at the same spot for the second time. And then they dropped this one. She was at the hospital for 11 hours, but Greta and Sheridan from the Lynx stayed with her the entire duration. She is very grateful, on her way home now, and doctors in Minneapolis have recommended that she see an orthopedic surgeon for the second part of the repair immediately. So she said, we'll keep everyone posted.
She was there for 11 hours?
See, that's the other one that I don't know if I necessarily love. Like, do you really, like, of course, you went to the ER. By the way, you're going to sit at the ER for a long time. You didn't have an 11-hour procedure. You just were at the ER for 11 hours because that's how long it takes going to the ER. I just feel like maybe we're playing the blame game and then we're looking for a little sympathy here with the 11 hours.
Yeah, they're kind of trying to spice that up a little bit.
Yeah, dude, you broke your wrist.
Yeah.
That
and
sucks.
it doesn't matter. We clearly saw you fall off your bike.
Yes.
So, okay, it doesn't matter why.
Yeah.
Why do we need to know why?
Exactly. You broke a wrist. I don't like the blaming of the unicycle, and I'm not necessarily in love with the 11-hour sort of thing. But, you know, she is a national treasure, so...
Yeah, they're really trying to get some sympathy, maybe.
Leaning in hard.
Yeah.
Well, you know the GoFundMe's coming. You know it.
Yeah. Will you donate to her GoFundMe?
No.
The Red Panda?
No.
Why not?
I don't understand a lot of GoFundMes. Like, if there's someone that's really in need, like, yeah, I get it. But she makes a couple $100,000 a year and has for like 30 years. And while it does suck that she broke her wrist, she's not in need.
And it would take one person or one team, like the Warriors with replacing the unicycle or whatever. If someone wants to take care of a broken wrist, they can do that. It would not be hard for you. Don't need thousands of people coming together and raising money for this.
So you're telling me something that she has no insurance to take, none? Come on. Like, it just...
Or that she has nothing squirreled away to take care of that wrist.
It just seemed this whole, while it is sad that it happened, and she is great, I think sometimes we make a little too, she's not dead, she didn't get hit by a bus.
She broke her wrist.
She broke her wrist. And by the way.
It's like having to poop in a red biohazard bag. Just poop in the bag.
Exactly. You're going to, like, the second part of the procedure, what? Probably putting a cast on your wrist.
Right.
What? Okay. So she's going to be in a cast for... I don't know, 2 months, and then the NBA season will start again, and she'll get back on her unicycle.
They said they're already confident that she may be ready by the beginning of the NBA season in October. So.
It's a broken wrist.
Yeah.
You can't ride a unicycle.
She literally doesn't use her hands. Those are for balancing. She uses her feet to flip the balls onto her head.
Yeah.
So you're not holding anything. You're not gripping anything.
That's all.
Although her balance with the wrist brace could be a little different.
I love some Red Panda. I'm just... The statement was a bit much.
It doesn't make her look good, does it?
It's a bit much.
You think it's her?
No, that's a team.
Oh, you think she's got a team behind her?
Well, yeah, because if you read this, when we read the statement, it's saying she fell, like,
Yeah, but she could easily be typing that from her.
That's true. Here's the other one. If you have PR people, you don't need a GoFundMe.
Right.
If I fall and break my wrist outside of the studio, the statement will read, yeah, my dumbass got drunk and I fell and I broke my wrist. It's not going to be from my team. I don't have a team. The Red Panda has a team. When you have a team, you don't need a GoFundMe. It's like when that lady called that little kid the N-word like 9 times and got like $800,000 from a GoFundMe. It just shocks me the amount of people like, oh, $20, absolutely, here you go.
All right, well, we got to nothing we wanted to there.
No, well, we got Red Panda'd.
I'll move it to tomorrow, but there is a first. This is a first in the history of Earth, and it pertains to sports, and it will be on tomorrow's show. You're just gonna have to tune in for it tomorrow. You're just gonna have to tune in.
Well, you better tune in because then we're not on Friday.
That's right.
Some of us
Now,
aren't even here tomorrow. Nope.
now we must move on to the club. Diddy beats the supposedly unbeatable Feds.
Oil parties.
That's next on The Fan.
Everyone has a fave Wendy's Frosty flavor. And when you're choosing from chocolate or vanilla, it's not that hard. But now, there's all new Frosty Swirls and Frosty Fusions. So try picking your fave from Oreo Brownie Fusion, Pop-Tarts Strawberry Fusion, Strawberry Swirl, Brownie Batter Swirl, Caramel Swirl, and Caramel Crunch Fusion. Not so easy now, huh? For a fresh way to Frosty, gotta be Wendy's. Open till midnight or later.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, hours may vary by location. Oreo is a trademark of Mondelez International Group. Pop-Tarts is a trademark of Kellogg North America Co., LLC. Used with permission.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Find what you love and love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, find what you love only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly, B21.
Hey, listen to this. All I needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft purr of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
Yeah, for me, it's the little things. Like these new windshield wipers from eBay I installed.
From small fixes to big upgrades, eBay has all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sportsbook for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite team.
.1080 The Fan.
Gunslinger, making it up as you go.
An Odyssey sports station. Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
Ryan Buckley with this Sports Center update. First on The Fan, in the NBA, former Blazers big man DeAndre Ayton expected to sign with the Los Angeles Lakers following his contract buyout with Portland. In the Eastern Conference, the New York Knicks will hire former Cavs, Lakers, and Kings head coach Mike Brown to replace Tom Thibodeau in NYC. The Knicks now the second favorite to win the Larry O'Brien Trophy at the end of next season at 8-1 odds. On the diamond, the Mariners and Royals back at it tonight in Seattle. Logan Gilbert gets the ball for the M's. Noah Cameron on the hill for KC. First pitch from T-Mobile at 6:40. In the NL, Braves ace Spencer Schwellenbach has been placed on the injured list with a fractured elbow. He won't throw for at least 4 weeks and is expected to be out for longer than that. In the second round out at Wimbledon today, 2-seed Carlos Alcaraz advances in straight sets. 5-seed American Taylor Fritz outlasts Canadian Gabriel Diallo in a 5-setter to advance as well. Meanwhile, American Francis Tiafoe is headed home after being ousted by Britt Cameron Norrie. And in the women's bracket, 6-seed American Madison Keys advances in straight sets. So does top-seed Arina Sabalenka. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Ryan Buckley, the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The Fan Merch Locker has a new black 1080 The Fan hoodie, as well as classic long and short sleeve tees. Get yours now at 1080thefan.com. The following show may contain adult themes not suitable for children.
Shut the hell up.
Club 1080 with Isaac and Souk.
It does go well with a chicken.
I didn't know hanging out with you was making me smarter.
Full disclosure, Morty, it's not. Temporary superintelligence is just a side effect of the mega seeds dissolving in your rectal cavity.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and once those seeds wear off, you're gonna lose most of your motor skills, and you're also gonna lose a significant amount of brain functionality for 72 hours, Morty. Starting right about now.
Club 1080 with Isaac and Souk is brought to you by Pub Beer, the official beer of cheap fun.
Thanks, Isaac and Souk.
lot of people saying Sacred Heart has diarrhea.
I saw that too. Damn it.
Okay, we apologize.
A lot of people saying Sacred Heart has diarrhea.
Come on, Rob!
Only you. Only you.
Yeah!
It makes me sad.
There you go. A little montage on a Wednesday.
Missed the Wilson Love versus Souk strength and conditioning training. That was good.
Yeah.
I just forgot about that.
That's an oldie but goodie.
Old Wilson Love.
Actually, it's not an oldie. It's from like the last 2 years.
Yeah, I was going to say that's pretty quick. The old strength and conditioning coaches are all the same. I recently found out that the new BYU strength and conditioning coach has a handlebar mustache as well. Like this.
They're always doing bits.
Yeah, doing bits, man. Is there like a normal strength and conditioning coach out there that isn't a psycho with a handlebar mustache? Or if your job is to like yell at kids to lift weights more, like maybe that's just
Here now!
you know.
Well, listen. The gay John Gotti beat the feds, sort of.
Yeah.
So
He
now
beat him on the real ones.
Yeah, he got okay. So here's the deal with Diddy. There were 5 counts that the feds were trying to stick him with, and he was going to go away for a long time. The worst of the 5 were 2 different sex trafficking charges and then a racketeering charge.
Yeah.
He was found not guilty on all 3 of those charges.
Yes.
The other 2 charges that he was found guilty on are transportation for the purpose of prostitution. So that's when you like cross state lines.
Yeah.
And it's like it's under an act. It's like the White Slavery Act.
Sure.
So it's while that doesn't seem all that like I don't know, that just doesn't seem like that it should be that serious of a charge. Like what's the difference in like say you're in Vancouver and you cross with a prostitute over into Port. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's the bigger connotation
when you
of
cross straight lines, it gets into a problematic thing. So if you are going to transport hookers, keep it in the state.
That's right.
Just don't cross the state line.
So he faces up to 10 years for each of those, and it was it came out after the verdict because everybody's going crazy in the streets. Like the people were busting out the baby oil.
One gal was the up tops were flopping out.
That's right. She put baby oil on her up tops and was ready to party, and it's just and you know it's like OJ.
Yeah.
But he was denied bail.
Yeah, so they wanted him released until sentencing, and they said nope. So now he has to stand there, and so now we have to debate the sentencing, because while he's not going to spend life in prison, the counts that he was convicted of can carry some significant prison time.
Well, like I said, he faces up to 10 years for each of those.
Yeah, but
20 years total.
Although you could run those, the judge could choose to run those concurrently.
He's not going. I don't know. He's not going
to do time.
He's already been in jail. I don't think he's going to do time either. He got off, dude.
Time served, probation.
And look, this is a wild one because the feds.
They went heavy after him.
Dude, they obviously had it out for him.
Yes.
And because the thing about this case is that the defense did not call one witness. Diddy didn't get up there. They had no witnesses. The only thing that they did was argue that the prosecution did not prove beyond a reasonable doubt the charges. Yeah. That's all they did.
And they were
which means that all that means is they didn't have a very good case.
Yeah, they said, I was reading through some the experts today, and they said that the feds really kind of botched this one. They said if they wanted to go after him, they felt pretty confident they could have put him in prison for 20, ish years. by not going after the severe charges, but they overcharged him. They wanted to put him away.
They had it out for him.
They had it out. They wanted to put him away for life and to make an example.
Make a big celebrity statement.
And it ended up costing him. That they said that a lot of people are saying had they focused on some smaller charges, they would have been, well, and they did get him on a couple of smaller charges, and they probably could have charged multiple of those instead of going for the big overreach.
Morons.
So, yeah. Hey, man.
What an idiot. Stupid.
Break out the baby oil. The question becomes, look.
Oh, they already did.
Well, yeah, but this is the thing. So if he doesn't serve any more time, or let's say he serves 2 or 3 years and he gets out and whatever, he's on video beating the hell out of his girlfriend. We know that he was, you know, the gunshots and the
he's a bad dude.
I mean, he is a horrid human being.
And throwing parties where there were like date rape drugs involved,
Yes.
whether or not he did that or himself or not, that happened at his parties.
So the question becomes, like OJ kind of largely had to go away. He was a pariah. Does Diddy, does Diddy get canceled? Because like James Franco had to go away because James Franco was sleeping with college kids that were of age. He can't get a job. Kevin Spacey is gone away. Like he can't do anything. Does Diddy just get out and then go back to being Diddy? And like he can't throw parties. Like you can't be seen associated with Diddy, can you?
I don't think so. At least
he's had to take his billions and quietly go away.
It sort of seems that way. If he's smart, he would. But I don't know if he's that smart. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about him.
No. I'm just saying it's a bold move. If you're like a Hollywood celeb and he gets out and then you're like the first guy, it's like, hell yeah, I'm going to go party with Diddy.
That seems like a bridge too far.
Yeah, it seems a little weird.
You guys going to Diddy's release party tonight?
In this day and age.
Yeah, what if he throws a release party?
Well, he might get pardoned. You know, that's the other thing.
Oh, yeah, he's cozying up to the POTUS.
That's already in the works, yep.
Yeah. So he's going to be free. He's going to be a free man. They said they're prepping his Miami mansion for him to return down there.
Oh, boy. By the way, that's the smartest thing you can do is that if you're facing serious time, just start sucking up. Because that stuff works. You got just start talking about how he's the greatest in the world and, you know, all that. And that was a wise, handsome man. And next thing you know.
Very successful, very rich.
The gay John Gotti lives on.
Yeah. And someone said, yes, it does pay to be a star.
That's part of it.
Imagine, you know, the attorney, the sort of high profile
That's
and the
part
amount
of
of
it.
money he spent on that.
No, I get that. But I also think, like you were talking about this last week, that, you know, I was playing. I have no. I don't know much about the Diddy.
No, I haven't
case.
been
I don't
haven't
care.
been following super close.
But I was playing golf with these bros who were really adamant about like what did they have on him? You know, like I mean, they're obviously trying to like there's something happened because there's what just because he likes to get freaky, and so they convinced me that Diddy was Diddy was going to get off, and then we came in and you were talking about the Fed's percentage of when the Feds go after you,
it's ridiculous.
You're toast.
Yeah.
He got off.
He got off.
Which leads me back to those bros. Like, what is it about that there's something that the Feds had up their ass about Diddy?
They overcharged.
And I don't know what that is, but somewhere along the line he pissed them off, and they look stupid here.
Yeah.
They look really stupid.
They went all in on this and the raid and all that and couldn't prove it. Yeah, we looked it up. It was like almost all of their cases plead out with guilty pleas. And when it goes to trial, they have it was like a 98% conviction rate.
Yeah, they're not going to try to. They're not going to. Yeah, it's like they're not going to waste all the time and resources and the money.
And yet they did.
Unless they've got a really good case. They did not have a good case.
It seems that way. And I did not follow it close enough.
Incredible.
I did not follow it close enough to know. But I did see, again, reading articles, they were saying that the defense team, like you said, they didn't call witnesses. Basically, the defense didn't even really try to make out that he was that innocent or that he was great or whatever.
No.
Their big thing was you overcharged him.
Yes.
Yes, he may have done things, but you can't prove. Like the racketeering, there was no one else that was really involved that they were going after, like the RICO thing. And they were they basically said, you're
Just
charging.
RICO, no RICO.
Yes, you're charging him with things that while, yes, he did bad things, these things are a bridge too far, and I guess the jury bought it.
Well,
in all reality,
but I
he
think
should be in prison, but he's not going to be.
Well, he's a bad guy, but I think they're probably right, the jury. It's like,
Well, the weird part for me is that when you read details of the various stories and the things that were being alleged, they were gnarly. And if any of that could have stuck to a human, they would have made it stick. So
Right.
they just... Because it's weird. There was enough out there publicly that it made a lot of people say, oh, there's no way he gets
when
away from
you
this.
read it, dude, he was sexually assaulting men,
Date raping people, kidnapping prostitutes,
beating the hell out of women, forcing men and women to engage in horrible sexual acts.
But they didn't have the right evidence of all that, I guess. I don't know.
So, and that's all. I'm hoping that what doesn't happen here is that he turns into a hero of. It's the OJ thing. Hey, I beat the system. I like, this is one for the good guys. Dude, he is a awful human being, and yet something tells me that he's about to become
I could see him going born again, gospel guy.
I just think he's going to become a bit of a cult hero off of this.
Oh,
and
God.
I'm the victim, and
he beat the feds, man.
Yeah, they came after me, and then whether it's, there was a racial component to it, or they just wanted to take down a celebrity, and they were trying to make an example of me. And the reality of it is, dude, you are a absolute piece of human garbage. But you're going to be a free human piece of garbage, and I just hope that doesn't get celebrated.
We've got some flight news, airplane flight news. We like that here.
Yeah.
Give you a lot of that here in the club.
Did you see any of the Japanese stuff? The people, the selfies and whatnot from that plane?
No.
Oh. It's kind of freaky.
Saw a cool new deal from a Japanese airline.
What's the deal?
If you pay to get yourself over there from an international location, they will pay your domestic flight to go somewhere else within the country on Japan Airlines to 64 different locations because they're trying to promote tourism.
Oh, that's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, so if you fly to Tokyo,
So if you get yourself there,
they'll fly you to
somewhere else.
They want you to be
but
intrigued
in
to
Japan.
come and see more hidden gems and things like
they'll
that.
fly you to like Okinawa or something.
Yeah, all right.
I was like, yeah, all right, whatever.
Can Swamp Crotch trigger TSA?
Look, I think we've all developed swamp crotch a time or two, and it's rough.
That story next on The Fan.
The Fan is live on YouTube, Twitch, and now Window.
we do need to get to Swamp Crotch news.
And we will. We have to address, because we were talking about Diddy, so let's toss in real quick the Brian Kohlberger.
Yeah. The guy that killed, the guy that officially now killed.
Yeah, the Idaho guy.
The Idaho co-eds.
Yeah, he
pled
out, and he will not. He's going to go to prison for life, but he is. They have spared his life.
Yep, he pled guilty today. The judge
4
even
life
said.
sentences.
The judge even said, "Are you pleading guilty to avoid the death penalty, or guilty because you did it?" He said, "I did it," and there have been a lot of hate, like coming towards the judge. The families are pissed. I guess they all wanted him to go on trial and get the needle.
Well, and he had the trial moved a couple times, and so I think there's a feeling out there that if you were going to do that, you didn't need to drag this out the way that you did.
So, yeah, he pled guilty, and no chance of ever getting out of prison. He will die in prison, and this is over now. And there's mixed emotions amongst the community and the family members and all that stuff.
Don't you think somebody may off him in prison?
It's a good chance.
Depends how well protected he is.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll go into custody or whatever.
Well, but don't they, even with the well-protected, sometimes
sometimes.
make them unprotected?
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
That was Dahmer.
Look the other way?
Yeah.
I think that's harder and harder these days, but that still happens.
Epstein.
It would not shock me. Well, there was a celebrity recently that got shanked a bunch of times too.
In the prisons?
Yeah, the rapper guy, the guy who shot Megan Thee Stallion.
Oh, Tory Lanez.
Tory Lanez. Yeah, dude, he got.
Someone shot Megan Thee Stallion
in the footsies.
Is she dead?
No.
Isn't it Megan Thee Stallion?
Yeah, Megan Thee Stallion.
Oh.
By the way, on fire right now. Yikes. The personal trainer, it's working. Yeah, he went to jail, and then some dude, some dude took the prison shank and went at it. Swiss cheesed him. But yeah, you're right. It would not shock me if old Brian there within the next 2 years is found thrown over a
They're going to let him have it,
Yeah.
and they'll call it suicide or something.
Wouldn't shock me. Wouldn't shock me at all.
Well, guys,
but that case is done, and they laid out the case against him too, because everyone they had been so tight-lipped about the evidence, but I guess that they did lay out the case, and I don't know if this will take down kind of because this was such a big deal. Now that it's a plea and there's no trial, I wonder if this fades or if we get the Netflix documentary or whatever.
We will get less information because of the plea, but
Yeah.
I don't know how much less information.
we hate getting stopped by TSA. It's a bad thing.
Yeah,
or
no,
is it?
No one likes that.
I mean, I don't care. They can touch me.
Oh, from that stand, yeah, I just don't like when I have to sit there and wait and you dig through my bag to find my face razor or something. You find a cigar in there and you're afraid that I'm going to blow up an airplane. But yeah, you can molest me all you want. That whatever.
But what about when the checkpoint alarm rings and it blares for your groin?
Got the old.
This happened,
and they got to pat you down.
Yep.
Can you give a warning? You're like, hey, just FYI, careful down there.
Well, they'll say, well, do you have everything out of your pockets?
Yeah.
And all that. Well, in this instance, they did. But what ended up happening was, this is a woman. She said, I flew for the first time in 15 years this week, and both airports flagged my crotch.
What?
At the arms up scanner.
Flagged your crotch?
Yeah, she took to Reddit. Yeah, the wet wanderluster described herself as a mid-sized adult woman, 5'8", 169, wearing bike shorts and normal undies. The Skyway siren assured social media readers that her private parts are neither pierced nor outfitted with medical devices, because that would set it off.
Yeah. Sometimes I have some metal pins, and every now and then I will. It's not all the time. I don't know why some are more sensitive than others, but sometimes I set it off for that.
She claims her pockets were totally empty. She says, I don't care about the pat down. They were polite and professional, and it doesn't bother me. But I'm wondering, what did this? Well, the internet know-it-alls, they're coming out of the woodwork saying that your crotch sweat can trigger TSA.
Get right the hell out of town. Why would a hot crotch? Why would some crotch pot Southern Cajun cooking set off a metal detector? I guess that's not a metal detector. It's a scan.
Yeah, it's the arms up scanner thing.
It's just the heat, the steam,
the funk.
It's like a. It's like a crab boil down there.
I'm picturing like what was that movie, The Predator?
Yeah,
with
the heat vision.
Yeah.
Does that show up?
It's all red down in there.
Boy, I'm not gonna lie, because if you get me on a hot, sweaty day, I'm afraid that there would be some discoloration on the scanner.
Someone else said, last time I flew out of my home airport of Tampa, I got searched too. The security guard said something unnerving like swamp rot or swamp crotch or something similarly embarrassing to me.
That's nut fog for you. Or
And
in this
yes,
case, that wouldn't be nut fog. That would be swamp crotch.
TSA expert Shauna Malvini-Redden says it's a bodily function that can wrongfully trigger red flags. Perspiration is probably the weirdest thing that can set off the scanners. She says it has to do with millimeter wave technology and how the waves bounce off of water. The insider added that because the machines often generate false alarms due to sweat, some countries, including France and Germany, have banned those scanners altogether. But if you have massive moisture down there, you may be in trouble.
Dude, I would be so happy. I would laugh my ass off if I set off a detector and it turned out it was because I had swamp crotch. And they had to so do they pat you down? How do you prove that it's swamp crotch and not like a shiv stuck up there?
I don't know.
How does that work?
That would maybe be the metal detector part of it.
Is that the secondary screening?
She said she got patted down, and she said they were professional about it.
The back of the hand?
Yeah, when they touch your crotch, they use the back of the hand.
And they have to bring in the female.
Yeah, you gotta bring in the female.
The lesbian.
Gotta go there, don't you?
What?
Haircuts don't lie. That's amazing. I had no idea. What if I was eating like a big bowl of hot soup and I like put it in my lap and then I was going through the metal detector? Would that set it off?
Might trigger it.
You're like, sir, why is your crotch red hot? Well, I was eating a big bowl of noodle soup earlier and just happened to sit it down there. It warmed it up a little bit.
It has also been alleged that frequent flyers boasting larger features such as a bootylicious behind can expect to be stopped and searched before getting the green light to board a plane.
Really? So if you got a fat ass?
I guess so. I hadn't
Maybe
heard that.
a FUPA situation going on?
Yeah. Well, remember the fat lady at the White Sox game?
Hid the gun in her fat roll and it went
gun in
off.
her fat roll.
There you go.
And it went off. Boy.
It's wild out there.
Dude, someone's like, excuse me, I believe you're fat churros. I'm going to need you to go over here to secondary screening. Have to lift some things, pull apart some things. We got to do some inspection there.
Well, I have more airplane / flight news, and this one comes from a listener. And you know me and my... I have a position for those new to the program.
You ride a hard slant. You really do.
I just think sometimes...
Sometimes?
No, you think the plane should not be turned around.
I think that common sense should be used in situations involving, even very serious situations involving regulations with the FFA.
Are you willing to admit that you ride a very aggressive, hard slant when it comes to this?
That's personal. Like, it's like, look, I know that, if I'm on a plane and it turns around and I'm pissed about it, but the reason is one that it's like, it's legitimate. I get that it's a selfish thing. Like, look, if we have to fly all the way back to the place that we came from, why not just fly where we're going? Because we're flying either way. So it's common sense, and it pisses me off that we don't have more of it. But I get you have to have these hardline stances on these regulations, and people and things and lives, that thing. But selfishly, I think that, especially unruly passengers, this one pisses me off. That you got to go all the way back to kick off a dip-ass passenger. That pisses me off. Yeah. One guy, freaking, the whole thing. Screw him.
Yep.
Get us. You're now inconveniencing 250 other people.
And it all comes down to because they're afraid that guy could hurt someone else as they're removing him.
You're making me uncomfortable.
That would piss me off. I've never had to deboard a plane, but I would be livid if I was forced to deboard a plane because one dip-ass. Yeah, that would not go well.
It's just these dumb things like for example, this is a small one, but on my flight to Salina, a little tiny plane, Salina, Kansas, Denver to fly Portland, Denver
little
to
Horizon sort of.
Yeah,
thing,
little thing. My seat belt was stuck on the right side of the stuck in between the seat and the wall of the plane.
Sure.
Okay. I couldn't get it out of there for the life of me. I'm like, man, that thing is jammed.
Yeah.
My dumbass told her.
Oh boy. Don't do that.
And then I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? This goes against everything I believe. Because one, the flight isn't full. I can just move to another seat.
Yeah. Oh, come on.
They don't need to know about the
seatbelt.
Yes. And so she goes, well, I have to alert the captain. And I'm like, oh no.
Just move your seat, idiot.
So yes, and so the captain comes out and he's like, what seems to be the problem?
What an idiot.
I'm
just stupid.
I told him about it, and he tries to get it, and he can't get it, and he's like, well, I've got to call maintenance. And now I'm like, oh, no. God, who cares? It's just a stupid seatbelt. Good luck to me. See, this is what I'm talking about. It drives me crazy.
You became that person.
I was that guy. And then, while maintenance was on the way, and it did delay us from pushing back a little bit, the guy behind me, I said, dude, do you have... I kept trying to fiddle with it, and I go, dude, do you have a pen or anything? He's like, yeah, here. Yeah. And it just was caught in the wrong way, and he got a pin under there, and he got it out of there. So we got it out.
So you were the maintenance guy. Were you able to alert them and be like, no maintenance needed?
I did, yes.
Okay.
But by the time I alerted them, the maintenance guy was up there, and I waved him off. But it's like, it's stuff like that. It's like, dude, you really got to delay this all these other people are inconvenienced because this dumbass seatbelt is
just
stuck.
Just move your lazy ass.
Right.
That's on you, buddy.
Well, I shouldn't have told him.
That's your fault. If you see something, shut up.
Yes, but what if the seatbelt was stuck in like a hole in the plane
that turned out,
and I didn't say anything and I knew it, and then we all go down and die because of it?
We've all faced that where you don't want to get involved in a situation and you're like, dude, do I say something? Do I walk away? Like,
Cabin pressure gets all wonky. The masks drop down, and Rob's like,
"Is anyone's seatbelt not working? Is anyone's seatbelt not working? It was mine."
My fault.
I knew it. I'm so sorry.
It's like when they tell you can't be on your cell phone, otherwise it could crash the plane. And
that's bullshit.
The one guy's in the back playing Candy Crush, and the whole plane goes down. You're like, son of a bitch.
Oh yeah. By the way, I said FFA. I meant FAA.
The future farmers of America are very concerned. I do that all the time.
I don't know. I just think we need more common sense, particularly when it comes to
farmer guy that there's ever been.
Particularly when it comes to just situations on a plane. Yeah. But this was from a listener who forwarded it to Buck. Buck forwarded it to me. This one is the worst. This is what I'm talking about. This is the definition of stupid.
No common sense here.
8 hours of inconvenience for this. That is next. Here's Buck.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
Ryan Buckley with the SportsCenter update. First on The Fan. In the association, former Blazers big man DeAndre Ayton expected to sign with the Los Angeles Lakers following his contract buyout with Portland. The New York Knicks hiring former Cavs, Lakers, and Kings head coach Mike Brown to replace Tom Thibodeau. On the diamond, the Mariners and Royals back at it tonight in Seattle. Logan Gilbert gets the ball for the M's, while Noah Cameron takes the hill for KC. First pitch from T-Mobile is at 6:40. Meanwhile, on the pitch today, semifinals of the Gold Cup between the USA and Guatemala. U.S. wins 2-1 thanks to a pair of goals from Diego Luna. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Ryan Buckley at the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Jump back to earlier parts of your favorite fan shows on the Odyssey app.
that has a working seatbelt. We'll leave that one, and we'll fix it when we land. This was the last flight of the night. Anyway, I thought of another example of common sense that did happen. On that same trip, we had some weather trouble in Denver, so they had to divert our plane to, gosh, I can't remember. Was it Durango? It was somewhere else in Colorado.
Sure.
And we had to land there, and a bunch of planes landed there because the Denver airport closed.
Yeah.
And so we were sitting on the tarmac for a good 2 hours, just sitting there, because you don't get a gate. You're just waiting to take back off. And there were 2 kids on our flight whose final destination was Durango, or wherever we landed.
And they wouldn't let them off?
Well, no. The common sense, they actually had common sense, and they said, look, we're going to, we can't guarantee it, but we're going to try to get the airport crew to wheel out a staircase and let these people off.
Makes total sense.
And they did.
Oh.
Again,
that's good.
Sometimes you can use like this. That's not technically legal, is it? You can't have people walking on the freaking tarmac.
Yeah, they were going to take a little puddle jumper from Denver to Durango.
Exactly.
And they're like, we're already in Durango, so okay.
So let's let them off. So it is possible that they actually have some common sense and go, you know what, this doesn't make sense. Let's do this.
I like it.
Now this one.
This is not common sense, according to you.
The passengers on Condor Flight 1513 earlier this month were mere seconds from touching down before their trip was suddenly extended by 8 hours.
First off, what is Condor Airlines, and why haven't I flown it? I want to go on Condor Airlines.
It's German.
Oh, yeah, Condor Man style.
It was on the German Airlines Airbus A321 was on the final approach to Munich with its landing gear down. When the flight crew was denied permission to land, the flight had missed the last possible landing time after a midnight curfew by 10 seconds.
Oh.
And they were forced to land at a diversion airport 233 miles away. Do you see what I'm talking about?
That's criminal.
That is criminal. 8 hours.
10 seconds?
10 seconds. Now, they were running late, and they had already gotten a 30-minute extension to land in Munich.
Sure.
They got there, but they got there 10 seconds late, and they cut it off.
Do you think it was really 10 seconds? Or, like, if I was coming in, and I'm wheeling down I'm talking to the gate, and I'm like, hey, dude, we're cutting this close. Like, that seems almost impossible.
And what would be the cutoff that you would find acceptable? 5 minutes or 10 minutes? Like,
yeah, where's the line? Or do you have some hard ass that's like, hey, rules are rules? Like that.
Well, clearly, we have a hard ass on our hands.
I mean, look, if there's no one at the airport to handle the business of the plane once it lands, then you can't land.
Yeah.
But otherwise,
10 seconds. Oh my god. Yeah, do all. I guess maybe that was the thing. Is they're like, hey, we waited as long as we could. We sent all the baggage handlers home. We sent the guy with the Captain Duracell, the guy that wheels you in.
Tell you what, dude.
Maybe all those people had gone home, and the guy's like, dude, there's no way we can get you to the gate.
10 seconds? But 10 seconds earlier, they had the way to get him.
And that's
give
the
me
thing.
a break.
But I guess maybe that's the thing is maybe they didn't. Maybe they sent the person home 10 minutes, and then when it was landing, they're like, hey, dude, I find 10 seconds. I wonder if that's an arbitrary thing that's being thrown out to make that story seem a little more.
And maybe they just weren't equipped to actually go through the procedure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just find, boy, the 10 seconds seems.
How pissed would you be?
You can't. There's no words. So they had to wait till the morning.
Yeah, well, dude, they had to go. Okay, so it says
230 miles.
The flight received a 30-minute extension. The landing fell just seconds short. Airport 75 miles out of Frankfurt was the closest diversion without a curfew. So it finally landed at 1:13 a.m., where the passengers endured a lengthy deplaning process. By 3 a.m., they were loaded onto a bus for a 90-minute ride to Frankfurt Airport.
Oh, they drove.
And then they booked them on a 6:50 a.m. flight back to Munich.
Wow,
dude! So they didn't sleep unless they were, obviously sleeping on the bus or whatever. But
I can't begin to tell you the anger. That would be bad.
See, that to me is just...
That's bad.
It's just common sense.
That's bad.
Regulations, I get.
I just gotta believe there were other things at play. There can't be... I mean, the 30-minute extension, and then I guess at some point extensions run out,
well,
right?
here's the other thing. This is the more sensible thing based on... Look, regulations are regulations. So if you abide by that, the more sensible thing is, why are you trying to land there in the nick of time.
Yeah, you're like, hey, you're not going to make it.
You're not going to make it. Or even if you do,
it
could be too close. You're risking.
What should have been done is saying, hey,
go to a hotel.
We're not going to make this.
That's right.
And we'll get you on a plane in the morning.
Exactly.
That should have been.
That's what they should have done. That's
because I've had this. I've seen this before. I don't. It was like I think when we were going to St. Lucia a year or two ago. We were waiting to get on our plane, and the gate right next to it. Sometimes they have shared gates.
Yeah.
It's the door's right there. And we had someone that showed up and they had closed the door, and he literally missed it. Like I watched him close the door. I remember I was sitting there just kind of looking, and they closed the door, and it had to be.
They wouldn't let him in.
20 seconds. Like literally the door shuts.
And that's like an FAA thing. Once it's sealed, they're like
can't.
not allowed to.
And I see the dude like hauling ass, right? And like they shut the door, and I can see the guy running. And like I said, somewhere between 10 and 15 seconds, and the lady at the thing was like, no, and my man was hot.
I would be too.
And they were like, the plane, and you can see the plane. It hasn't taken off.
Hasn't even left.
I mean, like literally, they just shut the gate down to the jetway, and the lady would not budge. She's like, no. She's like,
she can't.
She's
It's
like,
not-
you, yeah.
She's not allowed to.
It's not up to her.
But for that guy, I can see where the plane door hadn't shut, the tarmac hadn't been, the jetway hadn't been pulled out. To know that your whole thing was screwed by 20, I get it.
That
but,
sucks.
But it's 20 seconds.
But I gotta ask why he was late. I think that matters.
I don't know. But my man was hot. I actually thought, and the reason why I was kind of paying attention is I thought maybe he was going to get arrested because he was not. He wasn't taking it. He wasn't taking it well. And they did calm him down eventually, and he stormed off in a heap or whatever. But it was like
That's brutal.
Yeah.
It's a bad beat.
Because I'll bet you from where he was running, he probably saw the door shutting. And was like, I've got it. Like, wait.
It's like Indiana Jones. It's coming down. You're like, I can make it.
No, you can't.
Could he run faster? I mean, maybe he didn't push hard enough.
Oh, yeah. Imagine if he stopped to I don't know, whatever, tie his shoe or take a pee or something.
Pinch one off.
Yeah, hey, 20 seconds, man. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Because what do they say? They shut the doors 20 minutes before or 15 minutes before the flight or whatever, and yeah, you miss it.
Yeah. I also think, I've had that where we didn't check in time.
Mm-hmm.
We were late for check-in or something.
Yeah.
And the lady's like, there's nothing I can do.
Yeah. Can't get your bag.
Oh, that's bullshit. There is something you can do. You just don't want to do it.
Yeah, there's something you won't do.
Yeah,
there you go.
exactly.
That's better. Yeah. You could do something, but you're not going
She ended up letting us know. I'm like, dude, the plane's right there. I'm here. Come on. I flirted with her. She
You gave her a little bit of cheat.
Like, yeah.
You're like, how about a little
Hey, what about this?
You like what you see? There's more of that.
I don't care. They can touch me. That's right. Okay, we'll wrap it up next on The Fan. Hey, I want to help keep your house comfortable this summer with Window Nation. They have some of the best insulated windows that money can buy. Their windows frequently outperform and outlast ones from the expensive guys. Year-round comfort, built to last, and most importantly, they are energy-efficient windows, so you can save money every month on heating and cooling all year long with Window Nation. Right now, their July offer, save big, 50% off all window styles, and pay 0 interest for 5 years. No interest until 2030. You can trust their team for transparent pricing. They're going to give it all to you up front, and you can decide whether you want to go with it or not. It is a free, no-obligation quote. You can get it today by calling 866-90NATION or by logging on to windownation.com. With flexible financing and a team rooted right here in the Northwest, you will remodel consciously and comfortably. Book your free eco quote today. Again, 866-90NATION or windownation.com.
The home of Dirt and Spray.
I'm Dirt.
Do you like Young Hansen?
I know nothing
I
about
know
him. I cannot formulate an opinion.
I've never watched him play basketball. You never watched the highlights, huh? I've seen 30 seconds of highlights of him yamming on 5 for 5
Young will
days.
get me to watch Summer League, though.
Yes, he will.
I will say that. Normally, Summer League, I'd be like, okay, whatever.
See that
but
dunk off? That was one of my disappointments. Is Caleb Love's got a ball hog in Summer League, isn't he?
Dirt and Spray. Weekdays 6 to 9 a.m. on 1080 The Fan.
The threat of wildfire poses a growing risk to Oregonians, and recent wildfires have provided some important lessons. You can prepare now by taking 3 important steps. Step 1. Contact your insurance company to make sure you have the right amounts and types of coverage. Step 2. Create a home inventory by taking photos or videos of your possessions in each room of your home. Step 3. Gather and make copies of important identifying and financial documents. Store them in the cloud or another secure location. These 3 actions can help you and your community be more resilient in the face of wildfire.
We're going to leave you with a new hit from Blazer great Myers Leonard.
He's dropped another one, man. No, was it Good and Goodbye?
That's right.
And now we've got B-E-E-R.
This is No Good and Goodbye here.
Who could forget?
This was his retirement song. Yeah. And this is him singing.
Yes, it is. Even though he has a southern accent, all of a sudden.
Well, that's how you sing.
I was a little boy in Illinois shooting socks into a bin. Dreaming of the NBA while the clock counts down from 10.
So stupid. All right, he's got a new one, guys.
Yeah, that's right. We're just in time for the 4th. It's an American band.
Here we go.
Yeah. Did you hear that crack?
I did. Is that a beer?
That's a beer.
Wait, is that somebody get a hit?
Could be a honky-tonk bar or sitting beachside, a backyard barbecue on the 4th of July.
Oh, there you go.
Bonfire in a field or chilling on a boat, edge of a tailgate down a dirt road. As long as it's cold, could be anywhere. Like old Alan said, it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Alan Jackson.
Alan Jackson.
Love.
Get on a 4-point-something state of mind. Sit there and sip on a good old time. Man, it's a pretty good life. Great day to be alive. Don't you worry about nothing. Everything's gonna be alright. Money can't buy you happiness, but it can buy you a cooler full of 12-ounce cans. They come in 6, 12, 24, 30 if you want some more. If you run out, run to the store.
Wow.
B-double-E-R beer.
Just in time for the 4th of July.
B-double-E-R.
Is the entire state of Oregon going to be blasting this anthem over the weekend?
Let's go.
Oh my Lord. I want more. Hold on. I want to listen to this.
Sit there and sip on a good old time, and it's a pretty good life.
B-double-E-R beer. I promise you, over the 4th of July, I am going to ask for a B-double-E-R beer.
You're going to request a Myers Leonard track is what you're going to do.
Honey, you want to bring me a B-double-E-R beer?
But you have to say it beer.
Beer. On the 4th of July.
I can't get over the line, money can't buy me happiness, but it can buy you 12-ounce cans?
Yes, it can.
What?
The lyrics leave a little to be desired.
It's like they're like, I don't know, 12-ounce cans.
Yeah, 12-ounce cans. Yeah, it might have been hard
If you
to
need
rhyme.
some more, go to the store.
The accent just gets thicker, though. Man.
God, that is so bad.
God, I want him to.
What is he doing?
Well, I'm hoping he's coming to a county fair near us.
Is he going to go on tour? I hope so.
That is like, you know, like you can ask AI to do whatever, you know.
It's an AI
If
song.
you asked AI to write you a 4th of July redneck country song, it would write you that. B-double-E-R beer.
Write me a song that references America and drinking light beer. Here you go.
Yeah, by the way, no heavy IPAs there. A 4-point something.
4 point something, state of mind.
4 point.
Oh, wow, that's a pretty good Myers Leonard.
That is. Does Buck have a feature in country music?
No.
B-double. Hey, now I'm already saying that I've got
see? Earworm.
B-double-E-E. What the hell?
What the hell is going on?
What the hell are they doing? God, I hope he
What
wears...
the hell is going on?
Does he wear a country hat? I want him to wear a cowboy hat.
This is not a video. There was just cover art that had a beer, and it was spelled B and then .E.E.R.
Well, that's 'cause it's-
And then it said Myers Leonard, American made.
It is American made.
Well, he is.
That's right. And he hates the Jews.
No, he doesn't.
He loves America.
If you're watching his video game stream, he does.
He loves America, hates the Jews, but loves beer. Excuse me, he loves B-double-E-R. Beer. I like how he spells it out and then has to tell us what it is.
Yeah.
Just in case you
Beer.
didn't- Add like a B-double-E-R, in case you didn't know. Beer.
Boy, Deal's got a good point. He's like, I just added that to the playlist until I hear it and forget what the F it is. He's so right. It's like I've done that before where you add something to a playlist and then it comes up down the road and you're like, what?
Why did I even put this on there?
What is this? What the hell kind of mood was I in?
I thought this was a good idea at some point.
Well, I'm going home tonight. I'm gonna have a Myers Leonard now. I may just start calling beer a Myers Leonard. What do you got? I'll take a Myers Leonard. 4 point. A 4 point something mood?
Michelob.
Oh, yeah.
Needs to get him a Michelob.
He does need a Michelob.
God.
Got my Michelob Ultra joints.
Country Music Hall of Famer Myers Leonard.
That's right. He's a rising star. Look, if Morgan Whalen can be a star, why can't Myers Leonard?
I guess that's a pretty good point.
It's like the biggest thing in country music. If that can happen, why not, Myers Leonard?
All right. Everybody have a good night. We're back tomorrow, 3 to 7 to think. Good night.
Red ships of Spain, red